Hello, everybody! Welcome, one and all, to the Chaos Protocol! No matter if you are tuning in for the first or 1,000th time, we are Transplanar RPG, an all transgender, people of color led, dark fantasy, actual play, tabletop role playing game channel, telling stories set in an original, non colonial, anti Orientalist multiverse. This means we stand against genocide and ethnic cleansing and support all oppressed peoples of this world struggling against injustice, imperialism, and colonization. We must use our voices to build solidarity and fight for the worlds we wish to see. So to that end, free Sudan, free DRC, free Palestine, abolish ICE, and free all oppressed peoples of this world. Thank you all so much for showing up to support our story. If you're watching this right now, you are witnessing the live recording of the grand finale of Arc 3 of the Chaos Protocol, aka episodes 31 and 32. This is our very last stream in Inferno, and I am fully not ready to leave this world behind. But alas, all narratives must come to a conclusion. Thank you all so much for being here with us for this grand finale. It truly does mean the world. Before we get started, please allow me to introduce my fantabulous cast. And since it's the final stream of the arc, let's leave our incredible guest for last. So take it away, Val.
Hello everyone, my name is Valiant Lovewinds Dorian. I use he and his pronouns. You can find me all across the internet at Valiant Dorian or at Also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure I just set you on. And tonight, I have the distinct pleasure of playing Sayer, who uses he, they pronouns. Now I'm going to pass it on over to Pop-Up.
Hi everyone, I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns, and I am so excited to be back for this finale playing Mr. Zanin-ish, who uses he, him pronouns. Sam?
Hello, I'm Sam Star. I use she, they, and the occasional Fae pronouns. And tonight I have the most bestest pleasure in the world of playing everyone's favorite baby girl, chronologist, and healer, Lumira, who uses she, her pronouns. And off to send it off to our most fantabulous guest.
Hello everyone, my name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and for the last time crying, I will be Rhododendron Takrar, who uses they, Ray pronouns. Take it away, boss!
It's me, boss. So to start off announcements, a massive thank you for the last time to our major sponsors for Arc 3, specifically Explain Trade, Hero Forge, and Frivolous Bear Studios. You know, I have to do this. And I'm gonna do it in a big way, the final time. That's right. This is a color statuette from Hero Forge. Look at it. Look at all of the special details, the coloring, the crenellations on this thing. It's gorgeous. And you should get yourself one of these color statuettes. If you've been kind of flirting with the idea of buying a Hero Forge mini up until this point, take this as a sign, if you have disposable income and if it's a smart financial decision for you right now, to maybe treat yourself and splurge on one of these minis of one of your Blorbos. It's the size of my face! Look at this! The size of my face. Check it out. Go to bit.ly/trans. Forge, capital T, capital F. Click that button, click that link. This is your last chance to do it live on stream for Arc 4. Just Arc 3, oh my god. Click that link. Click that link. It helps us a lot and it demonstrates interest in the content that our sponsors are putting forward. And it's really great content too, by the way. Isn't that right, Oblivion? Oh my god, what's happening? What's... Come on. There we go. So go check that out. It's gorgeous. Yeah, speaking of people to thank, I'm gonna pass things back over to our guest.
We briefly went forward in time to Arc 4, and now we're back in time to Arc 3.
There is only one person who touches time here, and it's me. So everyone, let's just chill.
I'm gonna hold that comment. Anyway. If you think about what Sam said and then think about what I might have said in response. Okay.
I'm gonna get to the Patreon spiel.
Yes, I was just about to. We would also like to thank our Patreon priestess. Thank you so much for supporting the work that we do. Thank you, Ozra, Brooke, Cassidy, Clay, Elvira, Ridrunner 404, Mainman 13, Mark J, Nikolai, Phil, Robert Burke, Rose, Sergeant Danes, Spectra, Spencer, Squareheart, Taylor, the Bow System, and Zoe. You can join their illustrious ranks by using exclamation point Patreon in the chat. Consider pledging at the free or $3 tier to start, or you could even gift a subscription to a loved one. There's no better present than unlocking behind-the-scenes content of Transplanar and even monthly discounts on our merch store. Speaking of which, Val?
Hello friends of Transplanar. It is your time to do live to visit transplanarrpg.shop because it is time to fuck the plan, just like Strike Team Nova does. And you can find gorgeous apparel, home goods, and accessories designed by my husband. One more time for the Arc 3 finale. Our husband! And
Oh,
you
we love
can
you,
do
Mac.
that. We love you, Max. And you can do all of that and more by using !merchant chat or going directly to transplanerrpg.shop. We have a bunch of brand new stuff in the works, so go grab yourself some spring fits so we can make our patterned button-ups and matching skirts a reality. Also, we might just be debuting some brand new God Killer Last Hope merch soon, so keep your eyes peeled. Fuck the plan, Transplaners. Over to you, Kai.
If you've enjoyed the Chaos Protocol at all this arc, please consider donating and leaving us a tip. All tips go directly to the performers and will also support our incredible mod team. Your donations help make our work possible. Use !donate in chat and toss a coin to the Twilight Guard. It really helps us continue to do the work we do and makes future fundraising, maybe for future arc, possible. Sam, why don't you take us home?
I would love to, for the last time of Arc 3. Last time on the Chaos Protocol. The Spider and the Shrike duel to the end, with both heirs choosing to spare the other in the final moment of their battle. Aditi and Willow are unable to meet their children where they're at, but they won't get in the way either. Nova joins the impromptu dance party that the littlest spider strikes up, only for Strike Team Phoenix to arrive, demanding answers about why they abandoned their mission. Nova decides to return to the Syndicate knowing that they won't be able to remain agents, but at least they'll be together. But before Phoenix can open up a portal, Magic the Third pulls Nova into the fifth dimensional space and warns them that fate has no choice but to bring things back the way they were. Returning to reality, Nova decides to flee from the people and the place they call home. And that's what you missed last time. Use !recap in chat to read our full written recap document. And off to Connie for some self-care tips.
Self-care tips, yes, thank you, Sam. So, the Chaos Protocol is a dark fantasy series that may contain content that is triggering for some viewers. There are quite a few content warnings this stream, so please do pay attention and use !CW if you are in Twitch to get these content warnings at any time, and our mods will be posting them periodically in the YouTube chat. So content warnings for the finale may include fantasy violence, blood, gore, vampirism, apocalypse, sinkholes, car crashes, physical immobilization, guns as weaponry, bloodletting, ghosts, romance, complex relationships, conflict between loved ones, grief, sudden and uncontrollable falling, and jumping from great heights. So again, that's !CW in the Twitch chat at any time, and our mods will be posting these periodically in the YouTube chat. Moving on to the title of tonight's episode. It is The Hunter Calls Out. A Singing Moon Bleeds. From Praying Beside the Teeth That Killed Me by Connie Chong. Let's begin. Praying beside the teeth that killed me. But the rage is still here. Entombed. Alive. Salting to ash the road you've survived. Your heart is a city that bleeds and bleeds with buildings of bone and dark, sanguine streets. The unholy witness to the sun that we dread, from tenuous depths, in a coffin of lead. The light shall not follow, the blood will not run. O pity, O sorrow, her will come undone. The water is calling, the flesh goes unfed, impaled on the thorn, twice bitten, now dead. Beg for the spirits who shiver and weep. No hunger, no mercy, no heart shall you keep. The sword falls sharp against dying doom. Curtains last rise to watch souls bloom. chorus wavers. The death of death flees. The hunter calls out. A singing moon bleeds. Strike Team Nova. You tumble onto the grass, surrounded by a storm of shattered glass and dizzying streaks of light from stars and street lamps. You roll, stumble, and catch yourselves. Lumira's liminal has bought you a precious but finite advantage, a head start. But nothing in this world or any other is ever that easy. And now, you sense it. A tensing of the air around you. It is subtle, it is crimson, and it is undeniable. As agents of the Syndicate, you have been trained from the very beginning to sense when things in the journey go awry. Your missions have always been to carry out fate's will, to ensure that the threads of reality's grand tapestry are woven into their proper place. But now, you have not only disobeyed your mission objective, you have snapped the red bindings of fate herself. You have rewritten Sayir's doom. You have communed with magic, who is not supposed to appear here. And you have spun chronergy around the second strike team present in this plane, whose purpose is to shepherd you home. You can sense that the fabric of reality that holds Inferno together is starting to come undone. You've seen this before, briefly, in the Wild Sea. And while the journey can survive some strain, after all, you, as agents, put pressure on it simply by existing, this is bad. This is too much. So to that end, I am creating a clock called Entropy. This clock has 8 wedges, and the longer your party stays in Inferno, the more wedges I will tick. And for each tick, more pressure will be added to the fabric of this plane's reality. Your trespasses here are a slow but steady strain against Inferno's seams, and if you do not find a way off this plane soon, that clock will come to fruition, and there will be dire fucking consequences. You are like a lighthouse, calling oblivion home. There is blood in the water, and you need to staunch this bleeding. So I am going to take 1 wedge right now, as your party staggers to your feet. The light dusting of snowfall underneath you is already beginning to melt, as though the pressure you're exuding on this world had a physical heat. Yinghe staggers upward, hair falling into their face that they quickly brush aside. What the? This isn't good, right?
We're unraveling the journey.
What?
We have to go. All of us, together, and stop everything as fast as we can. Together, right?
Right, together.
One door.
One door.
Let's go.
We have to be smart about this.
Agreed. And Nova, you start to book it. Rhododendron. You had noticed the new arrivals at the ICMA, had seen them approach House Nova, had witnessed the looks of shock and familiarity on the faces of your retainers. No, your companions. No, your friends. There was no threat vibrating through the threads of the web around you. No imminent violence or fear, just an emotion that you yourself are now finally able to speak out loud on your own terms. Concern, understanding, hope. What you did not expect was Sayir suddenly tackling tackling these newcomers to the ground, Lumira suspending them in a frozen clockwork bubble, Yinghe throwing a priceless statue through the windows of your museum, and Nova hurtling themselves outside as though their second lives depended on it. There are gasps all around you, screaming, shouting. Attendees are clustering around this blown open aperture and staring with wide eyes and open mouths at the vampires suspended inside that strange translucent shimmer. In this moment of chaos and opportunity, what compels you to follow House Nova?
It's love. Throughout all of this time that they have been together, Ro has come to love Nova. They have been there for Rem this entire time. They have stood by them even when they didn't have to, even when there was no real good reason to. But they did. And they are my friends. So I'm gonna go see what's going on. And I think it was in the middle of like a dance with Diablo that all of this had happened. And so I think Ro puts a hand gently on Diablo's chest and says, I think I need to see what's going on. Something tells me they need our help.
Think so too. Go. Look, I'll deal with... And we see Diablo gesture toward the frozen Strike Team Phoenix inside that soap bubble.
Yeah, thank you. And then Ro whips around and jumps out of that gaping hole in the window that Yinghe had created in the ICMA.
You leap out with that same spidering grace you've always embodied, and in a few short strides, you are able to catch up to House Nova as they're booking it across the lawn.
There is a flash in Ro's yellow eyes as they look at all three of you. I think there's a quick scan to make sure that none of you are like physically hurt. And then they say, what's going on? Who are those people and why did you attack them?
It's a lot.
We're in trouble.
Trouble? What kind of trouble?
Big trouble. Trouble that can end a lot of things. Trouble that we need to get out of here.
Trouble that followed us here, Ro.
And the longer we stay, the longer Inferno itself is in danger.
Okay. And I think we're having this conversation as we're running through
Yes.
the streets of Inferno. Like,
Definitely.
there is just like shoes against the pavement, against concrete. Okay, you said it followed you here. From where exactly?
Oh, you're not gonna like this. We're not from here.
That
And Zynon
I know.
looks at Ro longer than just, we're from out of town. We're from, you know when you look in a mirror? Do you ever have that moment where you wonder if that's actually you, or another you, or an infinite possibility of you?
I haven't been able to look in a mirror for quite some time. But...
Right, you're right. We're from another time, another place, another multiverse, another plane.
There is a look of confusion and surprise that goes across Rhododendron's face, and I think if they had not just seen Lumira literally put Strike Team Phoenix in a liminal, a word that they don't know at this point in time, but if they had not literally seen Lumira do time magic, I don't think that they would have believed you. But given everything that has happened and given everything that they've seen, I think they go, okay. And they're trying to process it really quickly because they understand that you need to get out of here at this point, and there is not enough time in the world for that. And so they, okay. So when you say that you came from another place and you need to not be here, you mean like you need to...
Yeah, you know how did it ever strike you as odd how we just appeared here? Out of
Yes,
nowhere. I
of
mean,
course.
like, but no, seriously, as someone who knows this plane, this city very well, intricately, how have we never come across your periphery until just a few weeks ago?
And I think Ro thinks about it for a second as we're running through Inferno, and they realize that they had never really interrogated or scrutinized that very much. They had always known that Nova was lying about the fact that they have always been here and lying about where they're coming from. There had always been a hole in the story there. But Ro had never bothered prying about it, had never really scrutinized that very much. But now, thinking about it, everything starts to unravel the way that the reality of Inferno is starting to unravel. It's unraveling in Ro's mind as well. And they look wide-eyed. How do we get you out?
We had a way out, but that is no longer an option, so we're gonna have to improvise.
Seer,
I need time. That's what I really need. I just need enough time to open the right door.
Time I can do.
we need to keep them off of us, but Rhododendron, please don't kill them.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. And you can see that there is no deception in those words. Ro means it. If you need them alive, then we'll waylay them and give you time. But... And Ro stops for a beat. I wish that you could all stay. Is there no way for you to stay, for us to hide you somewhere?
Look at this. You don't feel it in the air? Every additional second we are here, this becomes undone. All of our hard work, gone.
That tension's not a lightning storm.
It is the actual fabric of the journey. Shredding.
And you are all using words that Ro doesn't have context for. The journey, any of it. But they take it in and they can see this, they can feel the weight, the gravity of your words. And they understand that you can't stay, as much as Ray would really like it if you did.
Bro,
And so-
listen. We are making a choice. I am making a choice. You asked me all those weeks ago. What do I want to do? This. I want to protect these people around me. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to do that. And that's all we've ever wanted for you. Is for you to make the choices that you want to make. To have that freedom and to have all the knowledge and information you need to make that choice. We've done that. And we love this place. But it's your place. It's not for us. Not right now.
Then let us help. Let us help. You love this place. And I speak for myself, but I'm sure that others would agree. We love you too. And Ro stops and holds the three of you back, I think pulling you to a halt just for a moment. Says, thank you, all of you, for everything that you've done. Zion and Mr. Ash, I offered you a place in House the Ground and you were snatched up by the bears, but I can see that you really fit in there with them. And you've done so much, not just for me and for my house, but for them too.
I'm just grateful you didn't throw us out on our asses that day we met. You've
How could I?
woven us into your web, and I will be forever grateful.
I think Anugata has a gash in their bike that will remind them of that.
Yeah.
And Ro quickly takes Zion into a hug. Only for a second.
Zion
let's go.
doesn't let them push back. He holds Ray tight. For all of their pacing around each other like predator animals. Zynon respects Rhododendron and respects not just the hug, but every move, every deft weaving of the web. And then he gives one firm squeeze before stepping back.
And Ro stumbles backwards and sees Lumira. Where I stand now, I was right. It did cost me everything. It did. But I was wrong about one thing. And that it was worth it. You were right. You said that love is the thing that pushes you forward. You were right. So thank you for that. You know, if me and you are not so different, then... And Ro's eyes flit over to the rest of House Nova. Then I hope you'll keep them close.
And Lumira smiles at that genuinely, like kind of playfully nudges your shoulder a bit. I knew you could do it. But keep one thing in mind. And she looks back at Nova and then back to you as well. You will never fail if every move you make is for them.
And Ro takes that in, like really takes it in this time. You are always one step ahead of everyone. You know that?
I mean, I'm kind of smart, but and she kind of shrugs it off and plays at it, but you can tell it's genuine appreciation and gratefulness in her tone as well.
And Ro reaches out for Lumira's hand, that golden one that used to be rotted, is no longer rotted, is Lumira. Holds it and squeezes it so tight. Okay. And then steps back and looks at Zaire. Thank you as well. Thank you for protecting your house and for protecting mine. Really, I didn't trust you at first.
I don't blame you.
You went straight to the Laniuses and I just... Well, I figured you had some sort of loyalty to them or something. I didn't trust you at first. But you have always been there for Yara, for me, for our house, and for Lanius, and for Tavash. You've just always been there. And I wouldn't have agreed with myself when you first arrived, but that is a wonderful thing that you did.
Sayer looks at you, and you see the veneer of a single tear brimming on his right eye that he doesn't let drop. He closes the distance between the two of you and says very quietly, "You and Yara love each other. You are bound by more than just blood. Never let that go. Even for a moment. Even for a heartbeat. Don't let each other go." And you see it now. A pain that you would know. A pain that maybe you felt when you lost Aster.
And if only we had more time. If only any of us had more time. Ro wants to dig into these things, into each other, wants to know you, wants you to know them, and there's just not enough time. So Rose steps back, says, "Thank you all so much."
At that, Yinghe steps forward, and they actually take one of your hands in both of theirs, and they say to you with those moon-bright silver eyes beaming into yours, "Rhododendron, when I first met you, I thought you looked really sad. Just really sad. And I didn't know why, and eventually we found out. And we learned the reason behind that. And when I first met you, you felt really still to me, too, like a spider in the center of a web, unmoving. I mean, don't get me wrong, you were weaving, you were doing all the things you needed to do to prepare for the bloodbath tonight and everything else, but it kind of felt like you were weaving along someone else's web, or in a way someone else has showed you without ever doing it your own way. So now, I guess I know how it feels to step off a path, or rather for a path to just abruptly end and there's nowhere else for you to go. And it's really scary, Ro, I'm not gonna lie. It's the most terrifying thing I've ever faced. But it's also really freeing. And I just know you will weave beautiful things if you just take a risk, if you just give yourself the chance to fly.
Thank you, Yinghe. Thank you. You... I think you have a lot of... not quite untapped, but unnoticed potential.
You can say untapped too, I would agree with that.
I just get the sense that people haven't let you be you just yet. Fully.
I haven't let me explore what I could be until I came here, really. I came here for Seir, but I also came here for Nova. And now I have so many more reasons in addition to just Seir to be here, to do this.
And I want you all to be able to do whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is, however you're helping. You said that you were helpers. You protected me and my house, so let me protect you and yours now. Let me return the favor tonight. Like I said, Inferno loves you. And we will rally behind you tonight. We will waylay the others. And we'll give you time.
Thank you, Rhododendron. A shadow flutters above your heads as the 5 of you are stalled here at the end of a street. It is a small and very familiar shadow to all of you at this point. We see the wings of a carrion crow expand over Zainan's eyes, and Dante caws, lets out a circling above, low and slow, with every circle coming lower and lower. And Zainan, you see those beady black eyes peering down, and we see reflected on the surface of those beady black eyes the silver cherry blossom necklace around your neck. That's what it's looking at.
Zainan looks to Ro, looks to Nova, and can feel the air getting tighter and tighter. And he looks up to Dante and whistles to call him down a little closer. And when he raises his hand, he stops at his chest and pulls. He pulls that cherry blossom necklace from around his neck. And as he does, you can see beads of metal kind of falling off, like the chain itself was shattered in the effort, but they're gold. And the cherry blossom is on a silver necklace. And in his hand, he lifts 2 charms where there was one, a cherry blossom, silver, and a golden pendant of a black carrion bird, a raven, and he holds it up. Come on. You know where this goes.
Dante swoops down and in a flash of his beak snatches both pendants out of your hand, an acceptance of this gift you're giving him, and just like that, leaving a single long tail feather fluttering down past your hat behind. He's gone.
Dinan grabs the feather, puts it in his coat. All right.
Come, Nova. I'll take point. Like we always do. On me.
Nova. As Dante flutters away with twin necklaces flashing in his beak, and as Rose splits off to rally Inferno in their own way, you find yourselves in the middle of a busy city street. Towering buildings reach toward the night sky above your heads, the burning lights of street lamps reflecting off of their mirror black walls. Pedestrians stride down wide, shaded sidewalks. Buses stall impatiently at stoplights, inching forward on massive wheels, eager to peel rubber at the first indication of green. A train groans to a stop at an outdoor station, pneumatics hissing as metallic doors fold open. You smell the city in its full, unabashed glory. Rubber and smoke, old rain and concrete. The sounds are overwhelming. The colors, too. Chattering, honking, reds, greens, dialects and diatribes bleeding together to form the vast, dizzying, beautiful cacophony that is Inferno. As you continue to run, your feet pound against the concrete of the sidewalk, and Yinghua glances worriedly at you, Lumira. How much longer do you think that liminal is going to hold?
It's been a while, so it's probably not as strong as it typically would be.
And then you feel it, Lumira. Something bursting, popping. It doesn't hurt, but it's gone.
I think in the middle of it, she's like, it's been a while, so it's probably not and it's gone. We have to go. Faster.
And all of you pick up your pace even more, darting past pedestrians, winding past mopeds that are impatiently taking the sidewalk instead of staying in the bike lane. And that is when the world starts to bend. There is a shaking. There is a trembling of the very earth itself beneath your feet. And Nova, at this point, you are at an intersection when this happens. A four-way crossing with traffic flowing in both directions on all sides. It's a really, really big urban crossing. And just as the light turns green and all the cars start to go, the asphalt in the middle of this intersection falls away. One moment it's there, the next, gone. A gaping black chasm like the throat of a hungry god yawns open 3 car lengths wide, and then another chunk of the street falls, and then another, and cars are slamming on their brakes. Trucks are blaring their horns. More than one vehicle collides into another as they swerve to avoid this sudden, rapacious sinkhole, and the chasm is growing wider and wider, more and more slabs of concrete and stone and iron falling and falling and falling, and Lumira, you, at the edge of Nova's formation, you feel it. The ground beneath your feet gives way as a fault line cracks open in the middle of your party and you start to free fall.
I think at that moment, Lumira kind of, as soon as she feels it, she yelps and tries to jump at the same time to kind of get a leg up in that regard, but I think her yelp is loud enough to startle Nova as she drops.
Lumira.
Sayer listens to your footfalls. He listens to your heartbeat, your breaths, and the second that your breath hitches to yelp, he spins on his ankles and launches himself down onto the hole and grabs your hand. Vera,
help me up.
I got you. I got you. And he pulls you up and holds you. As soon as your upper body is above the hole, he grabs you by your lower waist, so he stabilizes you there.
Thank you.
Always.
Nova!
Oh!
Voice comes from behind your party, and then you see them strike Team Phoenix. They stand at the end of this block, witnessing this cratering sinkhole, which continues to splinter and grow. Amaru and Cove are staring at this scene in abject shock, their eyes wide, their gazes fixed on Seir and Lumira, touching. Naeem is the first to rouse himself, to start picking his way toward you from the opposite side of this sinkhole. There is confusion on all of Strike Team Phoenix's faces. Shock, surprise, bewilderment, and the very first inklings of hurt and betrayal. They have no idea what's going on, why you ran from them, why you are doing this in the first place, but as they draw closer, all of you sense it again, the tensing of reality around yourselves, another pound of pressure against the fabric of Inferno, and I'm going to tick one more wedge. We are at 2 out of 8. You need to get out of here now, fast, before more people get hurt. Look at these cars piling up before your presence causes even more destruction. There is no time to stop and talk like this. How do you try to shake Phoenix? In terms of where you are physically, Lumira and Seir and Yinghe are on one side of the sinkhole. Zainin, you are 10 feet across on the other side of a fault line.
Go. I'll catch up.
Split up and rendezvous.
Yeah.
Heard.
Archway.
There.
Right. Be safe.
Always. You too.
See you there.
All right,
And Zainin
all 4 of you. Yeah, are you
turns.
splitting in opposite directions? Okay.
Yeah.
Zainin, you turn and you book it down one street. Lumira, you turn and you book it down another. Seir, you go down another. Yinghe goes down a fourth. All 4 of you are splitting completely different directions. And there's a moment as Phoenix stalls. As we see on their faces, they weren't expecting you to split up, but then the ground shakes again. More of the concrete falls away. More of the earth is swallowed up by the thing underneath the earth, the nothing, the abyss, the emptiness. And Naeem goes, I've got Zainin! And jumps, leaps across this 10-foot crevasse, lands on the other side, keeps the momentum going, books it after you, Esh. And Cove goes, ugh! Amaru! Jerks her head toward Amaru, toward Seir. And Amaru nods. Amaru turns and books it toward Seir, while Cove goes after Lumira. And we see Ash, those steely pale eyes flick and turn onto Yinghe, and they go silently like a fucking assassin, like death and murder in Ash's eyes, as Yinghe looks over their shoulder and goes, oh, and you all split. So, Seir, you are trying to take a series of detours, I assume, before you rendezvous with your party back at the archway, trying to shake Amaru. What is your ploy in trying to get them off your tail?
Seir was expecting Cove. This was a miscalculation on his part. He was expecting to throw obstacles in Cove's way to slow her down because they're at pace with each other in speed, but Hendrix is more lithe, more agile. Not as heavy set as Seir is, and as Seir is like ducking and weaving between city streets, he thinks of all the different training systems he's been assigned, specifically by the hand of Fate Artemis. He thinks of the weight around his ankles and chest holding him down as he, with each weaving of an alleyway, he hops, plucks onto a... Let me take that again. He hops and grasps onto a lamppost, swinging upward to a second-story building. He runs down, and as soon as Amaru hits to the top ledge, he ducks down onto a car and ducks and weaves through different trees of a city park. He moves and weaves as if he's running through a forest, through training dummies, through the bright lights and fire and chains and broken obstacles smashing in his wake. And he thinks to himself, It's like she knew. It's like she knew from the beginning. All that training. Was it really for missions? For Mayday missions? We didn't even know we were getting Mayday missions 2 months ago. Why did they train me so hard? To survive? To run? To escape those who would chase us down? And Sayer grabs onto the hammered moon necklace around his neck. I promise, Artemis. I won't fail now. Nova will be safe. Patience. 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 And he ducks and weaves, and I think at one point smashes through a window of an apartment building. They're screaming from residents inside as he says, sorry, and then breaks through the window on the other side to land onto a concrete slab of the sidewalk.
Sayer, where you are all muscle and force and brawn, Amaru is lithe and dexterous, like a stalking tiger. Also is very muscular, don't get me wrong, but there's a kind of fluidity, a flexibility, a grace to their form that you don't particularly have. As you smash through the window of that apartment complex, Amaru just goes through the revolving door. Like just through the door and lets out a Sayer! And then follows you out through the emergency exit, out on the other side, instead of out through that broken window. What do you think you're doing? What's happening? What have you done?
Sayer swerves backwards and he holds his hand in a guarding stance. Hendrix, I do not have time for this. The journey is unraveling around us. I am doing what I need to do for Nova.
The journey is unraveling around us because you're unraveling it. Just come back to the Syndicate with us. What's gotten into you?
We can't do that.
And those golden eyes flash with confusion, yes, shock, yes, but something else is trickling there. An emotion you recognize very well because you wear it constantly on your face, Sayer. Protectiveness. And Amaru says, like returning your like kind of martial stance with one of his own holding his like hands up in front of his face like a kickboxer. What is going on with you and Lumira? Because listen, 1 second we were having breakthroughs, Sayer. We were saying things to each other that I never thought we were going to say. She was opening up to me. Things were feeling good. Things were feeling right. And then you tackled me to the floor? She throws that time trap around us and now you're running? What is going on between you and Lumira?
Sayer does not know what to say. There's a moment where he bites the inside of his lip and blood runs across his teeth. I am protecting Lumira. Can you at least trust that? Lumira and I have known each other since we were children.
You're not the only one who cares about her. You think I'm not trying to protect her too?
Hendrix, don't make me fight you.
We both know how that's gonna end, Sayer. You're good with your circuits and your sparring and your punching bags, but you've got one major weakness.
Well,
you're slow.
You were not trained by Artemis. Ah! And Sayer is going to clock back his left fist and charge.
Okay, that you're gonna have to roll for that. So
yes.
What skill would you like to invoke?
I would like to evoke Wreck, please. Sayer wants to disarm Amaru enough so that he can make a getaway.
Okay, sounds good. Roll for it. And you are outdoors, so the moon, which is now a waxing crescent, is indeed shining down on you.
I get another die. Let's go. That is 3d6. Let's go.
Go for it. I'm gonna say
there's this.
Your position here is risky. Your effect is standard.
Okay. I rolled a 6, a 5, and a 1.
A 6. That's good. What are you trying to do with this punch?
Sayer. Yeah, Sayer wants to send him flying because Amaru's right. Sayer is a little slow in comparison to Amaru. He's not the fastest at trance, but he is pretty darn strong. And what he does is he aims with patience to go for the face. And if he had violence, maybe he would have. But he's patient, and he last minute fakes out and then smacks Amaru right underneath the rib cage, on like in his stomach, to push the air out of him.
Yeah, you got a full success. So you kind of feint toward the face and then duck down and punch him right in the solar plexus. To Amaru Hendrix's immense credit, Z has the reflexes of a fucking tiger. Those hands that were braced up, eyes go wide, and Z immediately shifts down to like block their midsection. So Z absorbs the brunt of the blow, but they are flung back. And you punch, and they fly through the fucking air. They fly like dozens of feet, and you see them land hard against the concrete steps leading up toward the raised stone dais where the Temple of Inferno stands. This tall pagoda with multiple, like, sprawling, beautiful eaves of ceramic roof tiles, and they land at the mouth of it. And beyond it, you can see the shadowy interior, that massive shrine stacked with valuable offerings. You even see a couple of monks inside, kneeling, praying, and they all look up and turn as they see Amaru, like, slam right by the entrance. And they let on... You just fucked with the wrong person today, Sayer. And as they pull themselves out of this crater, they crack their neck in one direction and the other direction, and you see beginning to unfurl out of their back, ripping through their clothes with a tearing noise, a pair of massive leathery bat wings. And that crescent moon is like a shattered half halo behind them at the very crown of the tip of the pagoda. Shit. And with another a flap of the wings, Z surges into the air, and they throw out their right hand, and we see uncollapsing in their hand a collapsible javelin with a sharpened point, forming a golden stake.
Shit.
And Amaru dives for you. And as Amaru dives on that motion, we go to you, Lumira. Lumira, you're booking it. Cove is on your heels. Lumira, wait, let's just talk this out. As she's like shoving past pedestrians bodily, like literally just forcing them aside, shoving people onto the ground.
I think Lumira is also pretty agile herself. So I think she's like doing that high-speed weaving in and out of people. I think she might have actually pushed a few toddlers and other people in the way, like to block, to kind of just put in between, because she's like absolutely fucking not. And I think
Cove will very like gently pick up the toddler and then like place the child off to the side, or like jump over the toddler like they're a hurdle.
Yeah, I mean, like, she's not knocking them to the ground, but she's definitely like separating and pushing them back for sure, and is definitely kind of like jumping over curves and darting in and out of people. And I think just briefly, like right as she like maybe jumps over like a crater that's in the side of the street where there's like sidewalk construction at, she just kind of looks back over her shoulder and it's like, it's not supposed to be like this, but it is. I'm sorry. And just keeps running.
Oh, wait, Lumira, I don't understand. Ugh! As she continues to shove these impromptu obstacles out of the way. And Lumira, you see up ahead a familiar sight, a place of refuge. You see up on a small mound, a hill, the Cathedral of the Weeping Saint. The cathedral that Diablo had taken you to, the cathedral where you met Tavash Lanius.
That'll have to do. And she just continues to high-speed book it towards there, trying to crouch a bit amongst people so that she can kind of be camouflage within the group as she's making her way over. You can still definitely see her because it's like a shock of white that just sits on top of her head as she tries to duck, but she definitely tries to camouflage herself.
Absolutely, yeah. As you're hiding and skulking and trying to shake Cove, why don't you give me a roll to see how much time you're able to buy yourself away from Cove as you try to sneak into the cathedral. So
Okay.
what skill would you like to invoke?
I like to use maneuver, if at all
That makes
possible.
sense. Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Position, risky, effect, standard.
Okay. 5.
Okay, yeah, partial success. That means you shake her for a bit, but she will find you at this cathedral eventually. But you can try to like hide inside the cathedral
Yeah,
before she
I
gets
think
there.
she tries to get into the cathedral, and then like once she gets in, she kind of like finds like the first like hidden corner that she can go into, and she's just like, I have to start training more. And it's just so out of breath, but is trying her hardest to also be quiet.
I love that. Can I offer that you hide yourself behind the altar at
Yeah.
like the very end of the aisle, and you're like behind
I like
the
that.
shrine? Okay,
For sure.
yeah. So you like you burst through these like huge oak double doors, and you run past these shafts of moonlight pouring through stained glass. You run past these empty pews carved from solemn wood, and you duck underneath that altar where that fated ritual was once performed by a certain architect of sorrow. And above your head, in the huge stained glass windows pouring down from the very back of the cathedral, you see murals of those animals chiseled into the glass. Bears, serpents, foxes, spiders, shrikes. And you wait there for a couple of beats, gathering your breath. And then, damn it, the doors slam open again, you hear. And you hear heavy footsteps falling as the doors creak and slam shut behind Cove. Lumira! Lumira, I know you're in here. Look, you don't have to run from me, I just want to talk.
I think in that moment, Lumira, while she was trying to catch her breath, she was looking up at the stained glass of the cathedral, and her eyes stay and linger on the depiction of foxes. She, for what it's worth, loved this place. She loved that there was a group of people that took pride in what she took pride in. Her smarts, her brains. House Huyen was a home to her within her own home of Nova. That's sad. She's processing it, but I don't think it's hitting her yet. So she's kind of brought out of her own reverie when she hears Cove and is just like, and just kind of like hits the ground in it because she knows she can't run anymore. So she gets up from behind the altar. I'm not running from you. Okay, well, I kind of am running from you, but like not like that.
Okay, listen, Lumira, whatever's going on, the patron saints can fix it. Okay?
What
Look,
can
I
a
know-
patron saint do in relation to fate? Cove, let's just be for real. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Okay.
I broke a rule. Fate has no other option but to put things the way that she sees fit. That's not... There's nothing we can do about that. That is her. That is naturally just the way things go. I am not natural. I'm not. I don't get to stay the way I am. If I go back, I lose Sayir again. I can't. And I'm not losing Sinan either. Yinghe just got here and he's. I'm not losing them. I'm not losing me. We can't go back. I'm sorry.
But I can't lose you, Lumira.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't. And Cove takes a few desperate steps toward you as the
She
light.
takes a couple back.
Yeah, the light behind you hits her like square in the face. And you see that she's not full of anger or rage, but just it's pure desperation, pleading. And her eyes, those emerald eyes are wide and they're in that stage before grief, in that stage of bargaining, of desperate bargaining. And Cove says, look, I know, Lumira, that you feel the same way that I do about what we did, what I would like us to keep doing back at the Syndicate. I know we hooked up that one time a long time ago, but what we have now, it's not like that. It's not. I need it, Lumira. I need to just hold you. And I need you to just hold me. And I need to just keep lying in bed with you. You're the only one that's ever seen me cry like that. And I'm the only one that's ever seen you cry like that.
And I think Lumira just kind of slumps and takes a deep, deep shuddering breath because she's right. Cove and Lumira found a home within each other in their grief. There was no words that ever needed to be spoken. There was no pretenses. It was just healing, question mark, together. She's grateful for that. That put her here. But just like how here in Inferno, Lumira had to re-find herself, her purpose, her worth, Cove has to do the same. Without me. Just like I did. So, Lumira chokes up a bit, but she stands firm. What we have had for each other now will never be taken for granted. You were there for me when I needed you most, and I was there for you. But Inferno showed me I am so much more than my grief. So much more than my loss. I had to find that myself. I want you to find that too. For yourself.
No, Lumira, wait, Lumira, wait.
Cove,
Please.
Don't make
Please,
this harder.
Please, no, Lumira, please.
Please.
Don't go, please, I'm begging you, please don't go, please don't abandon me. Please don't leave me like Sing did, please. I'll change Fate's mind, I'll beg her. I'll get on my fucking hands and my knees and I'll kiss her feet. Please, Lumira, don't do this to me. I need you,
so
please.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Cove gets down on her knees in front of you. A loyal and desperate knight. She bows her head in front of you as her words keep pouring out. You are the only one who understands. I can't find what you did here without you. I need you.
Yes, you can.
No.
Because I believe in you.
No one else understands. It's you. It's you, Lumira. You're the only one who knows what it's like to have loved the chosen one like that, and to have lost her, and I'm not strong enough.
You are one of the strongest people I know.
Don't say that. Don't say that, Lumira.
Lumira wipes her face, steels herself. One last pleading look in Cove's eyes. I am so sorry.
Wait.
Liminal.
Okay. That is going...
Run.
You're gonna have to channel for that.
Yeah. Six.
Okay. You're trying to trap Cove in here so you can go, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it is your time magic, Lumira. You've got it back. But it is still a kind of power, a calling that is so incredibly powerful, has so many costs, demands so much from you and from the world around you. I need you to mark 2 thirst as you channel, no matter the result of this.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you feel that stirring of hunger, that consequence twisting up inside you, and then a liminal forms around Cove. She's in the middle of reaching one sharpened clawed hand up toward over her heart in the middle of this gesture, and then she freezes, suspended in the midst of clockwork gears swirling in this golden orb. And you see those desperate eyes looking up at you. This gesture that she's frozen in. You turn, and you start to go. Zynon. You are running like hell through the streets of Inferno, and Naeem Zoran is hot on your heels.
Zynon spent all of his time here in Inferno growing roots. You know, he's a farmer. And he learns the streets, he learned the alleyways, he learned the rooftops of Inferno. And so, as he runs, this farmer pulls at the roots that he knows so well. And as he does, he flips that beautiful feather given to him and puts it in his hat. And you can hear behind him, though, almost like the gentle tinkling of bells. Little beads of gold, ting, 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 falling on the ground as he can feel that tension, not only in the air, but he knows that Naeem is behind him. And every single one that falls, a bullet that splashes onto the ground in molten gold before melting away. He's just waiting.
Zynon, you run, dribbling golden blood through the cracks of your skin onto the concrete streets of Inferno. You make a turn, and your feet instinctually guide you to a familiar place, Restaurant Row. You see wide, bustling boulevards packed with bars, pubs, grills, smokehouses, seafood restaurants, hot pot restaurants. If you can eat it, it's here. There are food trucks on every corner, pedestrians, outdoor seating. This place is alive, it's buzzing, and Naeem Zoran is still hot on your heels. And they shout over the talking and bustling crowd, Zynon! Zynon, come on!
Zynon stops and steps into the street to face Naeem. You should just let us go. You shouldn't do this.
Zainin, Ash, and Naeem also steps into the street facing you. The two of you are 10 feet apart, and occasionally pedestrians step between the two of you, but all you have are eyes for each other. What are you talking about? What is this? You firing from the hip again? Getting cold feet? Everything was fine, and...
Naeem, this is so much more complicated. If we go back, I will lose them.
We talked about this, Ash. We're figuring it out. We'll talk to the patron saint.
I'm sorry. That isn't how it's gonna work. If we go back, you might want to change. But fate, you know, the journey is set by fate's vision, by fate's understanding of it. It is fate's will. You could want to change. But even the patron saints might want to change. But fate can't. And I won't lose them.
Is it Zainin? Where's this coming from?
There was a interception. It's hard to explain, but we were told. I need you to trust me. I need you to just let us go.
Trust you in this moment. Zainin, you are the definition of breaking trust right now. Kissing me and then your strike team member tackling us to the ground. I thought we were building something together. I thought we were coming to a mutual understanding. Now you're pulling this out of nowhere.
I'm so sorry, Naeem. I wanted it to work. I wanted to go back with you, but... And as he says that molten gold flows out into his hand and begins to just kind of ebb in a longer and longer shape until just hovering over his fingers is the almost formed gun.
You serious, Zai? You want to do this? Here,
I
now.
have to take Nova with me. We have to go. We cannot go back to Trans.
Fine. But you don't get to just run away from me, Zainin. If you're gonna try to run, you owe me a fair fight. If nothing else. You don't get to just flee without a word. So don't you take that gun, turn tail, and... Well, I want to fight you. How about that, Zainin? I want to spar you. Right here, right now.
Fine. And as he says that, the gun solidifies in his hand.
Naeem twists his head from one side to the other, rolling his shoulders back, and you sense it, the red river around Naeem Zaran tensing. And the hems of his trousers begin to ripple as he reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out an ink brush, a beautiful ink brush that one might use for high-level calligraphy. And using one end of it, not the end with the brush, but the other end, there's a kind of sharp golden blade. They quickly nick themselves on the palm of one hand, and in the same deft motion, the hand holding the ink brush dips into the folds of their jacket again and pull out 4 sutra papers, 4 prayer papers. And with the blood, they dip the brush in and they write with a single hand characters on each prayer paper without even looking at the surface. And you can smell the blood of Naeem Zaran, of your Naeem, from across the way, and it stirs a thirst inside of you, Zainin.
Zainin's eyes flash the green and gold to a bright moonlight for a moment as he smells this blood. But just as Naeem is skilled in their craft, so is Zainin Ash, and the gun he flips, pulls the rod back and pushes 3 bullets, one, and then closes it and holds the other 2 in his hand. All right. You want to fight? I go. but only if you can make me.
I have no delusions about what I can and can't do, Zayden, but I'm very certain I'm going to beat you. Right here and right now. And when I do, you owe me an actual conversation about all of this. You owe me the chance to state my case so you can come back home to the Syndicate. And if you beat me, if you beat me, I'll let you go.
Zynon falters, that gun also wavering in its form. He does owe Naeem that conversation. He thinks of the home, not just the one here and the smell of the food around them, but Naeem's balcony, that intimate kiss, long nights holding each other, talking, breathing in each other, and that smell of Naeem just sort of pulls him out, and a bullet falls away, molten, onto the ground in his hand. Let's go! And he pulls himself back and raises the rifle.
At the exact same time, Naeem flings all 4 sutra papers toward you as though they were bladed poker cards. And even though they're like whispery kind of like rice paper, they fly forward as though they were made of steel. All 4 of them toward you.
Zynon's gonna try and shoot at least one of them out of the air.
Okay, sounds good. What skill is that?
I'm gonna say hunch.
Okay, that makes sense. Yep.
All right. And
Go for it.
I am going to push myself
Okay.
to do my sharpshooter shot. And I will use it to disarm Naeem.
Okay.
That is double 6s.
Oh my god! That's a crit! Okay! So, Zynon, in that moment, you are instantly transported back in time to a memory of you and Naeem Zuran sparring in the training halls at Trans. You, Zynon, you don't spar often at all, but when you do, it's with Naeem. And there are many times in which you've shot his prayer papers out of the air as though they were clay pigeons, training your aim. He'd throw a bunch up at you and you one at a time. So how do you avoid taking any injury or having any of these prayer papers land on you and disarm Naeem at the same time?
Zynon knows how Naeem throws. And he calculates not just the trajectory based on how he throws, but he also knows Inferno. And he knows how to draw on the deep well of vampiric ability. And he shoots faster than normal. I think faster than Naeem was ready for, because Zynon has been a vampire for months now, or for at least weeks. And so he shoots before the papers could even spray away from Naeem, and he shoots towards his beloved Naeem Zuran, not to harm him, but just to fling that pen away.
Yeah, there's an explosion of bright gold at that impact point between the brush and the bullet, and the brush is flung out of his hand and it clatters somewhere into the crowd. And from the residual energy of that, Naeem's hand also flies backward as though it got pegged by a stone. And at the same time, all 4 prayer papers, you're also shooting 1 bullet per, right, toward each of them. Yeah. They explode in a small firework of bright bloody fire, and the ashes fall down. It's almost like pop, 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 almost like a flashbang in front of your eyes, actually. And they fall into this kind of loose ashen bloody circle on the ground in front of you. And as you're kind of your eyes kind of go wide from the pop, 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 you hear Naeem let out a as he reels from the hand going back. Zynon, I have always known that you have had your doubts about fate, about her will. But it is her will that keeps us from oblivion.
Listen, you're not gonna like this, but what if they're not so different? Oblivion and fate. This place is made by the will of not only fate, but that thirst that you feel, the one that I feel when I look at you, that ain't fate.
Naeem Zaran reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out a second brush. He twirls it above his fingers. He's well armed. He's not gonna just carry one brush. Twirls it above his fingers and cocks his head in your direction. That silver birthmark between his brow furrowing. You're wrong, Zynon. Fate and oblivion. No two precepts are more opposed. She is everything. And it is nothing. There's nothing there, Zynon. It's not even hunger. It's just void. You know this better than anyone. I know this better than anyone. I saw it take my world.
And what about the Wild Sea?
What about the Wild Sea?
The Twilight Guard planted a seed so deep that it destroyed the world that was there before. Those plants exploded in 3 days from a seed planted by the Twilight Guard. And Zynon begins to step forward, pressing the matter.
Naeem dips the brush into the palm of his hand again and swirls blood as though it were an inkwell, at the same time reaching in for more sutra papers. And as you step forward, he says, people in the Wild Sea, before that seed sprouted, Zynon, they were already suffering. That apocalypse that you think the Twilight Guard wrought on that world, it wasn't the doing of those agents. All they did was plant the seed. The seed chose to grow, chose to sprout in the way that it did. And besides, if it hadn't, there would have been no Amerjin. There would have been no Abasi. There would have been no Suhyun or any of those people you told me about. Sometimes old ways must be destroyed for new growth to take root.
And Zynon thinks about all the faces of everyone, not just from the Wild Sea, but from the City of Heaven, from Inferno, from Keseki. All the people that he has lost, all the people who have lost. But then he also sees Naeem, he sees Nova, he sees Sing. He sees a patron saint holding him at her hip. People he would never have met without that. And that seed sits deep in him. Fine. Yeah. That doesn't change that. And Zynon's gun melts as he steps forward. He tries to close his eyes to will it back into form, but he looks at Naeem right there. I'm sorry. And the gun reforms, galvanizes. He remembers those faces, especially Nova's. He would lose Seir if they went back to trans, and that is why this fight is even happening. I can't. This has to end. I have to leave with them. That's it. And he steps forward further.
Naeem draws 4 more characters without looking on the sutra paper and brandishes them, fans them out like playing cards once again between each of his fingers. And you know I can't just let you go that easy, Zynon.
I'm sorry. I really am, Lane. And Zynon raises his gun to try and stop the next volley.
And Naeem Zaran raises those 4 sutra papers ready in response and flings them at you. As the sutra papers through the air in your direction, I'm going to have Naeem roll this time.
Oh god.
As Naeem's dark gift rears its head. It is the gift of the ghost. You see, Naeem Zaran is highly, highly attuned to spiritual activity, to the extent that they can sense the presence of any ghost within a 1-block radius of Inferno, and you, Zain and Esh, for the purposes of this fight, I'm going to count you as a ghost. So he gets an additional die to all rolls made against ghosts or ghost-like entities.
Sure,
I'm going to have him channel. That is a 6. So why don't you roll 1d4 for me to choose for yourself which of the 4 prayer papers lands on you.
That is a 2.
That is a 2. Okay, so describe to me what it looks like as you're able to blow 3 of these papers out of the air, but not the 4th.
Zynon was ready for this, and he is so at odds with himself that he doesn't shoot as fast as the last time. And he fires 1-2 shots very quickly, and then the third, the bullet won't form all the way, and he has to reground himself before he manages to fire off the third shot, not fast enough to catch the last one.
Yes, 3 of the papers ignite in bloody flame and fall into that ashen circle between the 2 of you once more, but the 4th one gets past your defenses, and where does it stick on your body?
I think it gets him right square in the sternum.
I love it. Okay, there are 2 characters written on this. Xiagui, as it sticks onto your shoulder, and you kneel is the command from the paper. You drop to your knees.
Zynon does.
The sigil is seared into your flesh through your coat. It burns you. It doesn't hurt you that much, but it is when you feel the blood and the fire, a strange kind of adrenaline surging through you as you feel this pain. And Naeem slowly steps toward you.
Zynon flashes a fang, smiling just a little.
Zynon, listen to me, okay? I know you have your feelings about the Wild Sea. I know you have your feelings about fate's will. But it's like I told you back at the art gallery. When we follow fate's will, we stave off oblivion. That's the end goal of all of this, to avoid an end goal. And this place, Inferno, can't you see that you're doing the same thing here that you accuse the Twilight Guard of having done back on the Wild Sea? You've planted your own seed here, not with fate's will or any assurance that this was the right path, but with your own hand, your own choices. I've seen it. And this means you have no idea what's going to sprout here after you leave. Maybe something beautiful. Maybe the pessimist in me will be proven incorrect. And something gorgeous will bloom. But maybe something terrible will bloom too. Destruction. Doom. Maybe oblivion will come for this place. And it's all because of you.
Faster than the roots of the Wild Sea, that seed that Naeem planted bursts inside of Zynon as he looks around at a city so alive in its undeath. And he wonders what they made under that archway. Naeem, this isn't about... I was wrong when I said they weren't my kids. If we go back, Sayer's gonna die.
I can't lose you, Zynon. You can't just... There has to be a way forward. There must be a way forward. But we won't be able to find that way unless you come back to the Syndicate.
We had to let this place choose. let them craft their own way through the journey. I know that it's dangerous. I hear you. But what if Oblivion isn't so bad?
What? And on that shock, you feel that prayer paper flutter to ash away, and that pressure exuding you, pushing you down onto your knees, it lifts from your body in that gap. Naeem takes a step back.
He just kind of falls further. I'm leaving this place with them. I wish it were different.
How could you say that about Oblivion? When you know what it did to me, did to my family, did to my world, did to your family, did to your world.
Wait, let us
Get on
die.
your feet, Zionin, and say it to my face.
He does, and he closes the gap quickly if Naeem lets him between them.
Okay, as you come toward him, what words are springing from your mouth?
I love you. You have been my home. I would go with you. I would.
And Zidon, on that final word from you, I would, your foot steps forward to close the gap between you and Naeem, and it steps into the center of that bloody, ashen circle that this entire time, Naeem, with those fallen sutra papers, has formed. And as it does, you fall instantly. Your body crumples to the ground, and yet, at the same time, Zidon, you remain standing. Or rather, your ghost remains standing as your body is laid out flat on the ground. You are face to face with Naeem Zeron, the spirit mage. And we're gonna cut the break there. We're gonna be back in just about 10 minutes. Enjoy the fan art reel, and I cannot wait for the back half of our finale stream. You know what time it is? It's sponsor Connie time with a word from Hero Forge. Hero Forge has officially leveled up with kit bashing. When you become a pro member, you can place up to 20 more items anywhere on one of your Blorbos with their own independent scaling, rotation, and movement. You can make your character look exactly as they should, even if the specific clothing or accessory option isn't available at the base level. You just have to get a little creative. And because I love you, Transplaners, here's a special sneak peek at a kit-bashed version of Oblivion. Just look at those wings and that base. This would not be possible without the power of kit bashing. The combinations are literally endless, and you can print your kit bashed Blorbos as plastic minis, standees, digital STL files, or even Hero Forge's brand new color statuettes. Color statuettes are twice the size of a regular mini, and just look at this. I mean, look at how massive this is, and especially in comparison to a regular mini, you can really get into all the nooks and crannies and details that wouldn't be as apparent on a regular sized mini. Just look at how Oblivion dwarfs Oka here. And also, if you're a GM, consider busting out one of these bad boys during a boss fight to really get your players shaking in their boots. Oblivion agrees. Unlock the true power of Hero Forge with a Hero Forge Pro subscription starting at $3.99 a month. Get in there and start creating at bit.ly/transforge. Now, let's get back to the show. Or more likely, just more of the waiting room. Trust in her will. Hello, everyone. We're going to hop right back into the back half of the finale of Arc 3. Thank you all so much for being here, by the way. As usual, I'm going to reiterate the content warnings for this stream, and you can use !CW in the Twitch chat to look at these content warnings at any time. In the YouTube chat, our mods will be dutifully copying and pasting the content warnings into chat every now and then, so keep your eyes peeled there. Content warnings for this session may include fantasy violence, blood, gore, vampirism, apocalypse, sinkholes, car crashes, physical immobilization, guns as weaponry, bloodletting, ghosts, romance, complex relationships, conflict between loved ones, grief, sudden and uncontrollable falling, and jumping from great heights. Again, that's !CW in the Twitch chat, and our mods will be pasting these in the YouTube chat. And now, onto the second half of the session. Let's begin. I can do it. Doesn't have to be you. I'd be happy to go. Always the hero, aren't we? I'm just saying it's dangerous out there. I can handle myself. Besides, they're mine.
They're mine too.
You should have seen this coming. Hey, now we're all in this together.
I should have seen this coming.
You can't keep going out there. It gets worse every time you come back.
I won't take long.
I can go. I can go. I'm going. Just be safe, okay? As safe as you can be, anyway.
Like I said, I won't take long.
Bring back a souvenir? That's hardly appropriate.
I'll be back soon.
Try not to get eaten. Yes. Try not to get eaten. Sayer, you fly through the air, punched in the sternum by the blunt end of Amaru's javelin, and you land in the inner sanctum of the Inferno temple. Monks shout and scatter as you crater against that central shrine, upending valuable offerings and sticks of burning incense. Amaru flies through the threshold and lands gracefully on his feet, golden eyes blazing, and he waves his hand in a come here motion, and the javelin flies back from where it's pummeled you in the stomach and is recalled into their hand. And Amaru says, those golden eyes burning, "You know, as much as I'd like to try out these shiny new wings, I don't actually want to kick your ass right now, Sayer. I'm here because of her. You don't know what the hell you're pulling her into, what kind of shit you're getting both of yourselves wrapped up in. You could hurt her if you keep doing this. Hurt her or worse."
Sayer spits out a bit of blood out of his mouth as he lifts himself and mumbles under his breath, "I need to apologize to Ginseng." And he gets up, holds himself in a stance, watching Amaru, every movement that Z makes. And he says, "You don't think I know that? Amaru. Amaru, I love her. I have always loved her. I spent more of my life loving her than I have not. I don't even remember a time where I don't. I was too young. And I know you do too. So please, Amaru, let us go. Trust that I love her enough to protect her.
golden eyes bore into bright blue ones, and in this moment we sense a resonance between these two men. Both of you love her. Both of you were saved by her magic. And it is because of this resonance that Amaru grips his javelin even tighter and says, if you really love her, like you claim, stop doing this. This is only going to get worse and worse and worse. Just come back. We will figure this out together. You will ruin yourself if you don't. You will doom her.
There's silence in the halls of this sanctum. And Sayer hears the words that Amaru says, and he only hears one phrase: "You are not my brother, you are my doom." You think I don't know that? And Sayer starts pacing like a tiger, matching Amaru, circling Z around this sanctum, holding his posture forward through the broken debris, shattered ceramic and stone and stained glass. I did this, Hendrix. I know what doom I wrought. But maybe that's our curse, isn't it, Hendrix? Maybe that's what we wrought around her. Doom. Only to be saved by her. And her alone.
Then let her go. Let her come back. Don't
I
do
can't
this
let that
around-
happen!
Don't drag her into this even more than you already have!
I'm not dragging her into anything, Hendrix. I can't let her go back. I can't let her be bound again. I won't allow it.
I will never forgive you if something happens to her because of you. Because I couldn't stop you here.
Then you'll have to stop me then, won't you?
And as you gesture at Amaru to come forward, they cock their hand back, that javelin burning in their grip, and then, falling from the 8th story of the pagoda roof, silent as a fucking bat, deadly as an assassin's blade, is Ash. They land on your back, Sayer, with impossible grace and lightness in the bare seconds before you and Amaru collide, and in 3 unforgiving, medically precise blows against your pressure points, the sciatic nerve against your outer thigh, the brachial plexus of your collarbone, the yin tongue between your eyebrows, that vulnerable third eye, they lock your body in place. Please take the tier 3 status, body locked. Amaru grits his teeth as he pauses in midair, bat wings flapping, and he signs to Ash. Ash! That's enough! We're not supposed to bring them back by force like this. I just want to teach him a lesson, make him listen to me. Sayer, as you're frozen, you have 1 beat to let an emotion kind of drain on your face. What is it?
Where the fuck is vengeance when I fucking need it?
And then, as though hearing your cry for violence, peeling away from the shadows behind that ancestral shrine, invisible until this very moment, even to you, Sayer, is Yinghe. With an expression of vicious protectiveness, they lunge toward the flickering shadow that your frozen body casts against the candlelight, and they slam clawed hands onto the wooden slats of the pagoda floor, and they snarl, "Get the fuck away from him!" And Yinghe rakes his nails in a wide arc toward their knee, ripping up fragments of timber, puppeting your body through your shadow, and Yinghe wrenches you free from this lock using her own power, and I would like you to replace Body Locked with Puppeted. While you are in this state, you and Yinghe can fight as one. You can do whatever you want, and their shadow magic will empower your blows.
Nila! And he feels each finger being moved by tendrils of shadow and feels his toes move beneath these combat boots that he wears as he shifts and moves. Just like on the roof.
Yes. Even more. Let's kick their ass.
Let's go!
And you and Yinghe and Ash and Amaru collide. How are you springing into action? What is the skill you'd like to invoke here?
The skill I'd like to invoke here is Hunt. Sayer runs and fakes a haymaker over, launching his fist upright to slam down on Amaru, and then ducks behind Amaru instead to set up Yinghe and just kind of like toss Hendrix over to Yinghe instead, and he is evoking the same movements that Artemis has taught him again and again and again. Wait for them to come to you.
Okay.
And once you do, don't let them go.
I love it. We are going to roll against each other for this. I'm going to give you an extra D because of Yinghe's help here. But in this moment, as you cock your hand back in this feint, Amaru's power, Amaru's dark gift, you see it flare as he cocks his javelin back once more and throws it forward toward you with the blunt end. And Amaru's gift is the gift of the fallen. Amaru's soul resonates with the divinity of Inferno. He can call upon the ancestor gods of this plane to witness him in moments of glory, giving him a +1 die to all rolls while he is in or near a holy place, which this definitely counts as. Moreover, Amaru can mark another undead as wicked, which gives him a +1 effect to all rolls he makes against them until dawn, and that undead is gonna be you, Sayer. So, I will roll for Amaru. Amaru's position here is risky, the effect is great. Your position is risky, the effect is standard. Go for it.
All right. So, Hunt. Is there moonlight now that we're breaking into the temple sanctum?
You know what? I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. There's a shaft of moonlight coming in from like a broken piece of roof.
And a D from Yinghe. That is 4 dice total.
Okay.
All right. Woohoo! Yippee! That is a 6 and a 5 and a 4 and a 2.
6, a 5, 4, and a 2. Amaru got a 6, a 5, a 5, and a 1. That sounds pretty evenly matched to me. So, you feint, Amaru sees the feint coming. Amaru, too, was feinting, the two of you bluffing, acting as though Z was going toward you when really that javelin was going toward Yinghe this entire time. So as your eyes kind of flash past him, that like haymaker kind of just like soaring through the air, cresting above Amaru's head, Amaru kind of leans back like someone going underneath a pole and whoosh, chucks that javelin toward Yinghe's hands specifically, where they're placed down on your shadow, empowering you. And Yinghe's eyes flash up with silver, and at the same time they wrench their hands to the side, and you feel yourself move in midair as though you were suspended through like telekinesis, and you fly around in a wide arc and collide in perfect synchronicity with Ash, who was coming out of the shadows out of nowhere, also launching themselves toward Yinghe, but Yinghe uses your body almost as like a battering ram against Ash, and the two of you are on a collision course to collide. But at the last moment, as Ash is flying toward Yinghe, their eyes go wide, they look at you, and they roll and tuck out of the way, so you end up crashing and smashing into the shrine because of Yinghe, and it buffets you. But neither Amaru or Ash get a hit on you as that javelin goes wide and kind of like hits the ground empty, not finding its mark. Ash was able to catch this ploy coming out of nowhere because of their dark gift, the gift of the current. Ash is attuned to the spiritual current that flows through all undead and can manipulate their soul force upon contact, giving them a +1 die to channeling and wrecking. Moreover, Ash can never be surprised by another undead as they can sense their soul from any direction, hence not being caught by your body. And bam! You smash into the shrine as the four of you kind of spring apart, as a draw kind of resounds in the middle of this space.
And Sayer looks over to Ying and says, "Thanks!" And in this moment, as he is locking eyes with the two of them, we're running out of time. We have to leave. He needs to rendezvous with Nova. And they're faster than him, so he has to compensate for that. And he looks and darts his eyes around. He looks back to that bracelet of his, to Patience. He needs to hold them down somehow. Connie, I would like to, as reality and the journey is unraveling, turn Patience back into its crescent blade form.
Okay, I like that. That's gonna take some channeling, though. You don't usually do this. You are bending, stretching the absolute limits of Inferno's magic here, so I need you to channel for me to do
Yes,
that.
I will, and I have nothing in that at all. May I suggest a command, maybe?
You know what? Usually I would let you say yes, and the system really
That's
wants
fair.
the players to bring rolls forward, but this
That's
feels
fair.
distinctly very magical. And what
That's
you're doing
okay.
feels like pulling on the river, so.
I have 1 die from the moon and 1 die from Yinghe. Thanks, Moon! Love you,
The moon
Artemis.
is here for you tonight. Luminous mama.
What about the power of Lumi love?
If Sayer gets that, then I would say Amaru also gets to roll with the power of Lumi Love.
Ooh, rough.
It's okay. I believe in 2d6. Let's go. Okay. Could be worse. That's a 5 out of 3.
Okay, mixed success. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. There's a drawback, which I'm going to incur thirst on you. I need you to mark 3 pips of thirst. You don't usually
Absolutely.
use magic like this. It takes a lot out of you to draw this small band into this large weapon. How does the strain tear against your own seams?
Sayer holds onto the wristband where Patience is a little crescent blade notch in, and he just goes, come on, form, and he snaps the bracelet in half, and the leather begins to wrap and mold, and we see blood begin to peel out of the pores of his skin from the tips of his fingers to form the metal curve of each notch in the blade. Come on. And he, in one swift motion, grabs the leather hilt of the blade, and the metal forms from the crimson blood of his own thirst.
Yeah, the claw of this blade kind of ratchets forward as though it were the claw of a massive werewolf bathed in the light of the silver moon. And at the same time, you feel that shadowy connection between you and Yinghe wobble and then suddenly sever as Ash pummels into Yinghe with a open palm strike right to the solar plexus. And Yinghe flies back and craters into a nearby pillar. The entire pagoda shakes. With that, big plumes of dust come up. Yinghe lets out a... Mila! Just do it. It's fine. I'm fine. I've got this. I've got them. Honestly, it's kind of fun as they pull themselves out of the pillar, and Ash kind of crouches like a panther waiting, head cocked to the side, and Amaru is descending on you just as you're distracted at Yinghe. That javelin's almost there, and then Rhododendron. As our liaison into Inferno, as you are pulling on all of these webs, weaving what you must to help House Nova, an ally arrives in the nick of time to help Sayer and Yinghe. And on that ally's behalf, can you please roll 66 for me?
Oh my god, I wasn't. Okay, one second.
God.
Connie, how many times I gotta tell you? You gotta be warning us for the plethora of dice that you gonna be having us roll ahead of time.
I already rolled D4 tonight.
Like-
Okay.
I have rolled 66 on behalf of this ally. They got a 4, a 6, a 6, a 5, a 2, and a 1.
That is a crit. Hurtling out of nowhere, it is Ash, the one and only person who clocks this before it happens. Ash, eyes go wide. They whip their head back toward Amaru and start to sign frantically, but Amaru doesn't see it in time as a fucking huge cement block flies through the air and clips Amaru right dead center of the back. Wings crumple and Amaru slams onto the ground and craters the floor. And as the dust plumes away out of the entrance, we see silhouetted 2 figures against the moonlight at their back. One of them is the woman who threw the cement block, Aditi Lanius. She's not even rolling one of her shoulders. She just looks annoyed and vaguely frustrated and a little bored. The other person is the architect of sorrow, Tivosh. They're leaning on their cane, pinching, right, the skin of their face between their eyebrows as they witness their mom, like, knock a flying angel out of the air. They lean against their cane once more, and those crimson eyes fall on you, Seir, and on Yinghe. Hey, House Nova, better get out of here while you can. And Aditi's stalwart red eyes fall on the 2 of you as well. Listen, I told myself I wouldn't get involved in this shit. Not tonight. But Rhododendron made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So get the fuck out of here, Nova. And if you show your face around here again, you, and her finger points at you, Seir, I'm gonna drop you off the roof of a skyscraper.
Deal.
Yep, that sounds good. Come on!
Yeah.
And Yinghe pulls themselves to their feet.
Sarah helps Yinghe pull themselves to their feet, and holding patience, he goes, I owe you one, Architect of Sorrow, and we'll start darting away.
I look forward to the night I can cash in that favor. I have a feeling it won't be anytime soon, though. As you and Yinghe run and just book it past them. As you do, I am going to tick another wedge. That is 3 out of 8. As the 2 of you flee this pagoda, Tivosh nods at their mother and they turn and look at you leave. They start to take a step down from the pagoda, letting Aditi handle this. They have other work to do on their own. As this happens, the reality around the ancestral statues lining the interior of this pagoda bends. And for a second, it appears as though their still stone faces flicker to life. We see eyes roving, mouths moving, fangs flashing. And then they all grow still, turning into rock once more. The reality of Inferno is getting more and more unwoven, and time is not on your side, Nova. Speaking of time, Lumira. You are halfway down the aisle of the cathedral, your back to Cove, her body suspended in that liminal when you feel it. The hairline fracture within your bubble. Cove. Against all possible odds, you feel her emotions so strong, so powerful as she's kneeling there, hand halfway toward her heart. Grief. Deep grief, sorrow, rage that you yourself have felt before. You feel it resonating through that hairline fracture, and then the hairline fracture grows wider and wider and wider, wider and wider and wider. More cracks start to form in the surface of your liminal. It is moments away from shattering open. My question for you, Lumira, is, do you look at her one last time before you go?
I think in the midst of all of this, Lumira feels it's so much pain that it's numbing, but not pain like her chronergy being capped. It's sorrow, it's loss. She gets this feeling. So I think she starts running after she puts Cove in the liminal. And then she thinks about it. She has to get out of here, but she is very quick in her handwriting as well as impeccable. So she reaches into her cloak, takes out the chronology book, the very, very last page, and pulls out the pen the gentlewoman scholar gave her. And she writes just briefly, "Magic told the truth. It has to be this way. I believe in you, Lumira." And she quickly rips it out, folds it, and kind of looks behind her at that moment, taking one last look at Cove, and just drops it on the ground where she stands, and then turns to run again.
It is Cove's dark gift that punches through the containment of your liminal, that shatters it open, accompanied by a massive, deep, animal-like wail of grief and sorrow and rage. Cove's dark gift, the gift of the night. Her undead powers stem from her deep, unwavering loyalty to a person, to a cause. And whenever she makes rolls to protect that person or cause, she always gets an extra die. 2 extra die if she herself stands to lose something valuable and personal in the process. And here, yes, she is losing something valuable and personal. She's losing you, Lumira. She's losing you. And as the liminal shatters around her and she breaks free, you can feel... Sorry, one of my spikes fell off. One of my spikes shattered. It's the one that's been giving me trouble. Anyway. As the liminal shatters and Cove breaks free, you can feel her heartbreak, her devastation pouring off of her in waves. You can feel something else too. Something you know so deeply and intimately. A feeling of abandonment. She's abandoned all over again. And this time, you can feel in her conflicting, roaring sea of emotions. This time it's you, Lumira, who's doing it to her. You, who knows exactly how bad she's hurting in this moment. You who had sworn yourself you'd never let someone else feel this pain again, but now you have to. You have to, Lumira. And that's the deep tragedy of it all. The deep tragedy of the situation. As Cove breaks free, as you turn and walk, as your note flutters to the ground, as the liminal shatters, I will tick one more wedge on the clock of entropy. We are at 4 out of 8. And as you take a step outside of the Cathedral of the Weeping Saint, there is another shattering noise that accompanies the breakage of the liminal. As one by one, every piece of stained glass in this space breaks. It smashes inward, raining color and violence onto the pews that flank this aisle. Cove does not move at all. She continues to be bent over in sadness and grief, but you can sense it, Lumira. The pressure of Nova's presence in Inferno, the threads of this world unweaving. You have to go, now. And you do. And as you step outside of the cathedral, there are 2 forms waiting for you, 2 people. In the shade of a nearby tree, you see the slender and agile form of Willow Drakkar. And behind her, her child, Rhododendron. Willow looks at you, yellow eye flicking to the shattered stained glass in the hallway beyond within this cathedral. The eye goes back to you, Lumira. Love truly is the most vicious weapon of all.
And sometimes, in relation to me, it is the most painful.
It doesn't seem like you have very much time left.
Thank you.
Ro holds out a hand to pull Lumira through.
Yeah, she'll take it. She's
You're
trembling. Oh, no, that was it.
And holding your hand tight, Ro will whip you around and will start running, almost like pushing you forward into the direction you need to go.
Yeah.
As the two of you book it, Ro, you and your mother exchange a brief glance as Willow rolls her shoulders back and approaches the ramp up toward the cathedral to deal with the weeping knight inside. Zynon, your body is beneath you, laid out flat on its back. You stand exactly where your shoes should be inside this spirit circle, this binding sigil that Naeem has crafted around you. And your ghost looks Naeem dead in the eyes. You're so close, you could reach out and touch him, but of course you also can't do that right now, can you? And Naeem says, Zynon, please just listen. Come home.
At what cost?
Zynon, there's always going to be a cost for everything, for anything. At least with fate, we know what it is. At least with the Syndicate, the patron saints, they can help us. But that, besides, I can't just let you leave like this again. You can't do this to me, Zynon. Not again.
And suddenly, Zynon feels like he's looking in a mirror at his younger self, begging Azalis not to leave, begging Dom and Pyrrha not to leave. But he's the one leaving. And suddenly, he looks to Naeem with the eyes of someone who understands a grief that he never was able to put in perspective from this side. He has to go because his family needs him. Naeem, I would go with you. I would go anywhere with you. But I need you to believe me when I say this isn't about us. This is about our family.
I always knew you had doubt, Zynon. Doubt about fate, doubt about her will. But if you leave, how am I supposed to feel anything else than like you're choosing oblivion over me?
The name of Oblivion. The spectral form, the ghost of Zynon Esh, is not a cocksure vampire running through the streets of Inferno. He is Zynon Esh, translucent, but long, single-pointed ear, those sharp slitted eyes, familiar face looking at the man that he loves. The precepts are imperfect, just like us, and that they cannot change, my love. I'm sorry.
Don't say that, Zayn. Don't. Please, Ash. Please. And Naeem reaches a hand toward your ghostly face, even though he knows the fingers are not going to make contact. He's a spirit mage, he knows this. The fingers go right through you, and you feel the echo, the whisper, the memory, the possibility of his fingers touching your skin. But it's not real, it's not there. Hand swipes right through. Naeem looks up at you, lips part to say one more thing, and then, barreling out of nowhere, bowling Naeem over in a huge tumble of white fur and snapping teeth, is Maverick. Naeem is completely caught off guard. Maverick slams into Naeem and rolls the spirit mage over, one after the other, and then in front of you is Beauregard. Looking at your ghost, this hunter with those bullet gray eyes, a curious expression trickling across their face, and then the eyes flick down to the spirit sigil, and there's a kind of expression of impressment. Like, they look impressed by the sigil, and then they notice something in the sigil that makes them scoff as they look back up at you. Hang in there.
Don't really have another option. Hi. Help.
Yep. Well, your, boyfriend did not do the sigil well. On purpose, I gather, because everything else about it is, technically perfect. Look at that. It's broken. You can just, step out of it if you wanted to. This feeling of being trapped is just a feeling. All you have to do is, speak your own name to your body, and then you'll pop back in.
Huh. Zynon looks to Bo. Looks down at the circle, not really understanding about it being imperfect. He's like, I don't know, this looks great to me. But he believes it when they tell him that he can just go. And he looks down at his body, cocks his head. Zynon, you get your ass up and you save your family.
And your body obeys. Your ghost falls backward at the same time that your body starts to lurch back to itself. The two of you meet in the middle, and you're back in your own body. It feels like being thrown against a wall, and then you cough. You're there. You're here in the flesh. I need you to just mark one thirst for the experience of all of that. The stress of it all onto your body.
Yep.
And Bo reaches a hand down to help you up to your feet.
Oh, that was disorienting.
I can imagine. An out-of-body experience, especially when you haven't signed up for it, can be rather alarming, but there's something fun about it too. Listen, you better get out of here before they escape her. And we see just Maverick isn't trying to hurt or maim Naeem at all, is just trying to restrain Naeem. Almost seems like a massive, oversized wolf puppy in a lot of ways, just lying on Naeem, who's like kind of scrambling underneath her. Like the calligraphy brush flashing bits of blood going sideways. And we see lots of sutra papers starting to like onto Mav's form and burning into her fur, but it's almost like she doesn't feel it. Right now, she's so massive and bathed in the light of the moon. It'll take a little bit more for Naeem to get free, but he will get free soon.
Zynon looks to Naeem, and 1,000 apologies spill out of him in a heartbeat. 1,000 nights that they are not spending together, and regret that he couldn't say more, that he couldn't talk for days and months with Naeem about this choice. He has seconds. And he can't say enough words, so he just looks to Bo, pulls his eyes away. It takes more strength than he has in every fiber of his being as he lets out the heaviest sigh, wills himself to stay whole. He cannot fade into a knife. And he turns
Bo claps a hand on your shoulder, sensing this from you, and nods, jerking their head toward the end of the street for something for you to see. At the same time, they unholster their own pistol from their hip, and a small grin eats at the side of their face. Zynon, as you begin to run and flee down this sidewalk, you see what Bo was jerking their head toward. Moxie. Anugata's motorcycle with a brand new paint job with Anu on the back. There's a helmet on her head with the visor flipped up, and as you approach, she tosses you a spare motorcycle helmet.
Zynon
Come
puts
on!
his hat under his arm, just one-handedly puts the helmet on. Hey, you.
Your chariot awaits.
You're too kind to me. And Zynon walks up to the bike, seeing this not only as a gesture of friendship from a family he could have joined, but also proof that things can change and that mistakes can make people closer. And he sends out a little prayer to somewhere that Naeem might end the same way. And he hops on the back of the bike.
Anugata slams the visor down on her helmet, waits for you to do the same, jerks her head back and says, "Hang on tight, I'm not slowing down for you."
All
You
right.
fly off, you fly off.
Woo!
And as she kind of revs the engine and speeds down Restaurant Row, narrowly avoiding pedestrians, clipping past red lights, orange lights, green lights on other sides, she's just heedless of traffic laws. Zynon, you see something strange in the faces of the pedestrians the two of you race by, and I'm going to take another wedge on that clock and bring us up to 5 out of 8. Color and sound blur together, streaks of light painting haunting after images in the wake of their sheer speed. You see the faces of mortals from decades past in the city, dressed in traditional clothes, the faces of mortals who do not exist yet, but someday might. Past, present, and future are starting to meld together in one unintelligible jumble. The longer you stay here, Zynon, the worse this is gonna get. Inferno is starting to burst at the seams. Strike Team Nova. One by one by one by one in your separate parts of Inferno, each of you finds your way to the archway. It is half crumbled in the slender moonlight, a reminder of the clash between Tavash Lanius and Rhododendron Trakar one night prior. 1 night prior? Has it truly only been 1 night? So much has happened since then. Weeks have passed, it feels like months, maybe even years. Time has a funny habit of being relative. Lumira and Ro, you show up at the same time as Seir, Yinghe, and moments behind Tavash. You glimpse each other from opposite shores of the creek, your team's familiar silhouette blurred beneath the shadows of swaying trees. You are not alone here. More figures stand beneath this archway. We see Sakti stubbing a cigarette out against crumbling brick, and Diablo leaning forward, placing a hand on Professor Ifueco's shoulder to draw her attention. Toyin lowers her head. Up until this point, her face has been tilted toward the sky, her eyes completely gold, no scleras or pupils at all. As she blinks, the gold retreats back into the hazel of her irises, and the red river tenses around her. She's been using her dark gift to listen to the entirety of Inferno, to span their thoughts with psychic tendrils, to hear their secrets, to sense the whereabouts of Strike Team Phoenix. And with a meaningful look between the professor and the twice bitten, it's clear that Toyin has been helping Ro coordinate Inferno's defenses. There is a roaring noise, a guttering of rubber, kicking up dirt, and a cone of light slices through the common, blinking rapidly against the slender, dark bodies of trees. Moxie skids to a stop at the mouth of the broken archway, 2 riders on her back, Anu and Zynon. Sakti raises her chin in Moxie's direction. Nice to see you all in one piece.
Hey.
Zai!
Are y'all okay?
Huh.
You see
We're
blood
here.
trickling down Sayer's mouth and the crescent blade forming in his left hand. Never better.
Doors. We need doors.
Fuck! Doors!
Door. Door.
Door.
Just one.
Door.
While you say this, Sayer, Sakti flicks the stub of her cigarette into a nearby trash can and nods at you, Zainin, as you get off the back of Anu's bike and take your helmet off. And Anu says, listen, Esh, we're gonna run distraction, okay? Do whatever we have to do here, and we're gonna buy your house some time. Jerks her head towards Sakti, who puts the helmet on and kind of swings one leg over the back of Moxie.
Zainin clasps Anu on the arm, gives her a fond smile. Would have joined you if I could.
Yeah, I know you would. All right, see you later, Nova. Esh. And there's a... as she revs the engine, Sakti slams the visor down, gives your team a kind of two-finger salute off of her helm, and they race off. And Zainin, you watch Moxie peel off into the distance until that headlight winks out of you. And that realization you had back on Restaurant Row about Piera, about Dom, about Azalis, about the mirror of yourself reflected on Naeem's face. It rises up within you again. Anugata had said, see you later. But will she? They'll never know what happens to you, Zainin. Not after this.
Zainin takes a moment and looks out over the Inferno Commons, sees a dust storm, sees the oblivion that maybe they did bring here. And he falters again. And he turns to face Nova.
And Zainin, Diablo is at your side. A hand is on your shoulder, and you see something new on his person, a necklace with a golden pendant of a black, swooping avian creature glinting around his collarbones. Looks like Dante's delivered at least one of the two packages. It's your necklace.
Hey. And Zainin smiles seeing the necklace, and he knows that the other one is as close as you can get to planting seeds in Inferno. Gifted to Dante, a cherry blossom. She would have left it here. And he leans against Diablo, searching for stability.
You find it.
He's teetering.
Diablo is steady against you. He's there. He knows something monumental is coming for you. That this isn't just about skipping town for a few weeks and lying low. Diablo turns to face you, House Nova, those eyes lighting on Tavash and then Rhododendron in the same turn. And Diablo says, Inferno has rallied around you, Nova. Rhododendron's seen to it. They've been pulling strings, cashing in favors, promising debts, some of which I personally think are a bit foolhardy, but desperate times, right, Ro?
Right.
They're weaving. So now it's time for your crew to make good on it. What's this about doors?
Just hopefully the one door. And we see Sayer like tense. He's holding Patience in one hand and holding it out as if looking for something, that sensation he felt so long ago on Earth, this compulsion of a door that's waiting to open somewhere, but he thinks of safety, he thinks of a path. He just needs to open a path, a road for them to go. And he's going to attempt to open one door.
Sayer, before you do, you start to center yourself, right? And sense the Red River around you. And You and the rest of Nova and any undead here can sense the river stirring in response. But before this magic comes to fruition, Lumira, the professor, Toyin, is still underneath that archway, a couple of feet away from your group, kind of collecting herself after channeling and sensing all of Inferno underneath her watchful psychic eyes. And those eyes, Hazel now, fall on you.
Seems like I wasn't the only one that was hiding something. Toyin.
Ah. And you see that there's a small nosebleed starting to form under one nostril that's like dribbling down her mouth, and she wipes it away carefully. I am doing what I must for the home I have, for the futures all of us would like to invite to Inferno. And I'm doing it for you, Lumira. It may be hard. It's been a minute since I've used my dark gift like this. I am no longer the young, hungry vampire I used to be, but I'm not going to falter here. Not for a moment.
Thank you. For everything. Not just for this, but for helping me see myself wholly, truly, and without fear. And she says that last part confidently, but there's still that layer of fear underneath it. But she looks back over to her family, and she gets bolstered by that.
Toyin gives you a nod, a meaningful look. She believes in you. She knows you can do this. And she says to you, feeling fear, that doesn't make one weak or strong. Being true to yourself, never once shying away from who you are in the face of that fear. That is what matters. And you, my girl, you are the most courageous person I've ever met. You are going to be just fine, no matter where you go. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You hear me?
Yeah. And Lumira nods at that. Her entire body posture goes extremely soft, as does her eyes. My girl. It's wildly how similar to the brave girl that Artemis calls her. And Toyin doesn't even realize that bolstering of spirit that gives her. She is smart. She is brave. She can do this.
Lumira.
So, she steps back with her family, the people she loves most. And Seer, you feel her hand grip your shoulder. That feeling of confidence, not just in herself, but in you too. She knows you can do this.
He squeezes your hand with his right. And he looks one last time over to Zynan's bright eyes. That boyish look. Just one door for my family. Please. Just a path. A connection, please.
Zynan's eyes are full of tears. as regret whips deep inside of him like a storm. Regret not just for what happened with Naeem, not just for the decade of pain that he caused himself for not understanding why his family left him, but that he has to leave another home. How many homes in one day can he lose? And he looks to Diablo. You gonna be alright?
We'll be just fine. It's your house we're all rallying around. And look, I can read between the lines. I know your crew, when you get out of here, might not come back for a long time. Might not come back ever. And at that, Diablo's eyes falter. Something wavers behind them as he looks at you. He takes in a deep breath, gathers himself for you, for this task at hand, not letting himself be distracted by preemptive grief. He'll let himself mourn later. And he says to all of you, a promise to you all, Nova, but also a promise to himself, a glimmer of hope. A lighthouse he's erecting in his own name. You'll always have a place to return to here. A couch to crash on, as long as you're able to find your ways back to us.
It's appreciated.
Alright then, House Nova. Let's see what you got in terms of doors. Seer, I need you to channel.
Sayer thinks of the last time he did this. He thinks of every lesson that Artemis has ever taught him. Of wayfinding, of finding paths through ancient forests as a child. He thinks of Singh, who felt everything he did. Every pulse in the journey. Who knew the disaster before it struck. And to him, the antlered one behind the darkness, and as he begins to channel and form whatever comes out of this, he yells to Rhododendron. The apartment is
What
my
about
journal.
it?
Give it to Yara. Please.
And Ro nods. This entire time, Ro had been posted up on one side of Nova with Tavash on the other in agreement between them to encircle Nova from danger. She'll get it.
Thank you. Teacher. Sister. Father. Please. I'm going to roll one die for the moon.
You can do
And
this.
That
Okay?
is all I have.
Okay. Go for it.
You can do this.
One die for one
Just-
door.
I think in your ear, Lumira's like, I believe in you. You can do this. Just picture the one thing that you want and let yourself have it. And I think she's saying this. You can tell that she's speaking from personal experience. Like this is almost the feeling that she harkens on to create her own liminals. Picture it in your mind and grab it.
And all Sayer wants is a chance. A multiversal, reality-bending chance. That is a 5.
Okay, 5. Mark 5 thirst for me.
Okay.
I
right.
am in rage.
Okay, you're at your maximum capacity right now. You are pushing your body to the limit. Sayer, magic tenses around you, pulsing to the rhythm of your unbeating, seizing heart. The cracks in reality widen just a little bit more as you call on the power that surges beyond what Inferno is capable of, beyond the logic of this plane. All of you see gashes flash into existence around you. Red gashes, black gashes, gold gashes, lightning bolts of destruction and creation pressing against the dome of this world, seeking to crush, to implode, to unweave. And then the door appears. A wooden door with a brass handle painted with vibrant and bright colors and patterns. It is painted into existence in the empty space within the broken archway, a substitute for that shattered gateway, and then you are tumbling through it. All of you, even Diablo and Ro and Tavash, and you are free falling through the air that is now the floor, and you are 1,000 feet above Inferno. Mist and clouds and winter current rush past your bodies, your clothes, your hair. The moon is a crescent knife, and it is massive and unforgiving above your heads, and there are doors around you. Around all of you, the metal doors to cars, the revolving doors of hotel lobbies, the massive steel doors of walk-in freezers, infinite doors, so many doors, and they are all open, and they all lead to different places through a glass sliding door.
No.
We see Amaru cratering into Raven's used books like a falling comet. Z picks himself up instantly, flapping their massive bat wings as Beauregard steps over a low crumbled rock wall and reloads a hand crossbow. Through a pub door, we see Cove in the middle of the street, bracing against the front of Anugata's bike with her bare hands, boots tearing up the concrete around her as the bear revs her engine with a bloodthirsty howl of delighted laughter. Through the burned-down facade of the old dance hall on River Hill Road, we see a half-transformed Mav tackle Naeem into a pile of old ash as a tidal wave of dust cascades into the air through the reflective doors to a hall of mirrors. We see Ash darting from corner to corner, playing both hunter and hunted as Toyin sits in the center of this space, immeasurably calm, eyes closed, sensing the unsensible with her own psychic prowess. House Nova, you freefall for seconds, for hours, for minutes, for heartbeats. Time and space alike collapse around you as the doors propagate, dozens of them, hundreds of them, showing an infinite array of possibilities, combinations, futures. Amaru and Cove fighting Sakti and Tavash. Naeem and Ash fighting a flock of shrikes, Cove wrestling Mav, Amaru dueling Tingsing, Yara hunting Naeem, Anis biting Ash, endless constellations of violence glimpsed through endless doors, each layered on top of the other. It's impossible to tell what is and what could, or if there's even a meaningful difference between the two at all, and you are falling, and your house is falling, and you sink through that colorful wooden door with its brass handle, and you land. I am ticking a wedge.
This is not what I meant to!
We are at 6 out of 8 for entropy.
Oh, fuck me.
Screaming.
As you gather your bearings, your bodies sore, your minds exhausted, your souls running on fumes, you realize where you are. The Inferno Bridge. Traffic rushes in two directions at 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. The late-night train chugs through the center of this bridge, squealing along iron tracks, blasting through Inferno like a silver bullet. Hundreds of feet below you, the Red River winds like a blackened vein, its surface glimmering from the pale light of the waxing crescent moon. Your party has landed on a pedestrian walkway, one of two on either side of each direction. A safety railing separates you from the traffic on one side, and on the other, a dizzying drop down to the river. As you gather yourselves, you sense three now familiar presences mere feet away from where you've landed. Tavash is pulling the self to the feet and limping toward Ro and Diablo, both of whom are laid out on the ground, sprawled as well. Diablo is stirring with residual pain, grunting and pushing himself up. And what about you, Ro?
Ro is scrambling as quickly as Ray can to their knees, to their feet, trying to get up. Are we on the same side of the bridge?
Yes, you are. You're just a few feet separated from each other.
Ro gets up and is, I think, at first just trying to get their bearings, just trying to understand where we are, what just happened, and their yellow eyes flick to Tavash Diablo, checking to see if they're okay, and then flick to Nova to check to see if they're okay.
All of you are in one piece. It was just a rough landing, and going through that takes a lot out of you.
Nova!
Blood is
That was
pouring
not
from
just
Sayer's
one door.
There's tears of blood that are falling down Sayer's cheek. Fuck.
Nova.
Okay.
And Zynon does a head count 1, 2, 3, and pats the top of his own hat.
I'm okay too. I'm fine. I broke the fall a little bit with my own shadow. And he
Ow.
uses the safety railing and is like pulling Tada self to Tada feet. And Tavash helps you to your feet, Ro, as they kind of lean on their cane. They're the first one up. I don't know what kind of architecture you've been studying, Zaire, but doors aren't supposed to do that.
I didn't study any.
Obviously, I have notes, but I can give those later.
And Ro holds out a hand to Diablo, trying to help him up as well,
Yes.
to make sure that everybody is taken care of.
Diablo takes your hand with one hand and Tavash's arm with the other, and the two of you help Diablo up. And as he stands, he kind of stumbles into a hug between the three of you. Diablo just pulls the two of you close. And there's a moment as the three of you are reunited like this for the first time in such a long time. And despite the everything, despite the tumbling and the falling and the fleeing and the running, there's something comforting in this moment. Something nostalgic and familiar, but also so new, different, possible.
Ro hasn't felt both of their breaths, felt both of their bodies at the same time in forever. Not in their unlife. It's a mortal memory, one that lives in a different life, one that Ro doesn't live anymore, but one that they miss so dearly. And despite the urgency of the situation, Ro allows themselves to sit in this moment for just a beat, 2 beats, not wanting it to end, before they let out with almost a sigh, breathy, we have to help them.
Yes, we do. Diablo nods as well, and the three of you, in the same gesture, kind of lean your foreheads away from each other and turn to face Nova. Speaking of which, Nova, Seer, Yinke has made their way over to you. All three of you are now on your feet at this point, maybe like rubbing various parts of your body, using the safety railing as support. And Yinke is saying to you rather urgently, This isn't off Inferno, Seer. Do you think you have one more door in you?
Seer
I
doesn't
do
know.
mean just one. Please.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey. And Zynon goes and puts his hand on Sayer's cheek, feeling all that blood, looking him in the eye. Hey. This isn't on you. It's okay.
Ro and the crew walk up towards Nova, and Ro looks at Zaire. Like he said, it's not all on you. How can we help?
I don't know. I thought it was just the one door. I just need a door. I just need a chance. Something, but I don't
Hey.
know if I have.
Seer, make a choice. You have to choose one. Make a choice.
What door do you feel most comfortable with? What's the door that you feel the most safe and comforted walking into? Picture that.
Sayre looks down at the Red River. There's only one door that Sayre could possibly feel the safest in. And it is a door behind which Sing might open. He feels weak. He is one half of a whole. And he looks at the Red River, and it's less of a call, less of a channel, definitely not a command. It is a mewling, begging from a broken brother. Sing. I just need... I'm not strong enough to open it. I just need you to open a door for me. Someone open a door for me. Let me in. Please.
Sayre, you reach for it. The door that eludes you. And as your hand physically stretches over the railing toward that open expanse of red that is the river cutting through Inferno, all of you sense it. All of you. All at once. Power tenses behind you, beneath you. Someone else, Sayre, on the other side of your pleading, your begging, your prayer, turns a knob and opens a door.
Sing.
Not just a door. A portal. It swirls into existence beneath the bridge, a void black, yawning gateway to another place, another dimension, another plane. You cannot see what's on the other side, but you know it will take you far, far away from this place. It is dozens and dozens and dozens of feet beneath you, flickering faintly like a yawning dark maw above the rushing tide of the Red River, and Lumira, you in particular can sense it. The entity on the other side of that portal. The person who opened this gateway to you, to your party. This presence feels strange and familiar at the same time, not ominous, not compassionate, just curious. It is the presence of the hitchhiker. The presence of Kimani.
I was going to say, I think there's a piece of Lumira that's feels and gets like a sensor for people that she puts in her liminal. So like she's able to sense them around, like once she's had your life essence amongst this liminal, and she can manipulate it, she feels it immensely. So when Sayre says sing, Lumira gasps and goes, "No, Kimani."
Kimani, how does your voice greet Strike Team Nova from the other side?
Glitching on every phone, every computer, every screen, interjecting like a laughing anomaly. We hear Kimani, the traveler of the journey, under the archway like a ray of hope crystallized in human form. She pulls out vampire teeth, looks through the door, and says, "That's not right. Hey, besties! Come on! We gotta go."
This is a shot. We have to go now.
And that's when the next train comes. The steel bullet speeds through this arterial track of the bridge faster than the eye can follow, but it is not alone. Leaping off the roof, landing in the middle of midnight traffic, is Strike Team Phoenix. There is a cacophony of honks, of tire screeches, of trucks and buses and mopeds screaming to a halt as Naeem, Amaru, Cove, and Ash roll to a stand, desperate eyes fixed on your party. They look battered, they look bruised by Inferno coming together to stop them, but they are here now. And their final plea does not come in the form of words. They just look at you. And Ro, that's when you sense Tavash and Diablo on either side of you move forward, protectively standing between these two houses.
Ro sees the four of them in front, threatening to keep Nova here to destroy whatever is happening here, and they can't let it. They've made a choice. They deserve to get to see that choice to the end. And so Ro turns around, her back to Strike Team Phoenix, and looks at Nova. Good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. You are a lover. Borrow Inferno's wings and soar with them above a common bound. And with that last plea, Ro turns back around, squaring themselves up to Strike Team Phoenix. They will not get to House Nova. Not tonight.
And I'm going to take another wedge. 7 out of 8. The crescent moon above your heads wavers, and there is a burst of light, silver and pale and bright, 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 like the sun. The moon. The moon is full and glorious crimson cracks splintering outward as though the very dome of Inferno's sky were about to implode or burst or become born anew. You can sense it, Nova. That final plea from Ro, the last pounds of pressure exerting force on the reality of Inferno. It is time to make your decision. Do you go home? Or do you take a leap of faith?
Zynon remembers what Kimani said when we were chasing her around Trans, of how he got there. Jumped off a cliff. And all he can think is, they better be right. And he holds his hands out to either side. Nova, we're going.
Okay.
Sayer wraps his arms around Nova. On 3. 1, 2. He lies. He pushes us on 2.
And Nova, you fall. And as you do, you can sense the reality of this place starting to stitch itself back together, as though the journey herself, himself, themselves were aware that you are choosing to avoid entropy, to spare and protect this plane. And as you plummet, your heart's plunging up to your necks, your undead blood rising in your veins, you see her, shouldering past Naeem, dressed in armor you don't understand, holding a weapon that strikes terror beyond the flesh into the depths of soul itself, the patron saint of mortals, Artemis. Those golden, mismatched, beautiful, ill-fitting eyes land on each of you, watching you fall. And then you tumble down into the portal. And you're gone. And we're gonna end the session there. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the grand finale of Arc 3. This has been one hell of a ride. I truly could not have asked for a better cast or crew to tell this story with. I have so much more to say. I have many prepared notes here, and you all should definitely stay in your seats because there are some exciting announcements ahead. But before we get there, I'd love for my cast to introduce themselves one last time for Arc 3. And just like with the intros, let's save Hubna for last as our special Arc 3 guest. So, Val, I believe, take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Valiant. Love wins. Dorian. I use he, him, his pronouns. You can find me all across the internet at Valiant Dorian or at Also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure hunt I just set you on, and thank you all for coming to the grand finale of Arc 3 of the Chaos Protocol. I've had the greatest pleasure of playing Sayer, door opening Shadow of the Chosen One, who uses he, they pronouns. I'm gonna pass on over to Gay Dad of the Hour.
Hi everyone, I'm the gay dad of the hour. I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns. You can find me all over the internet as Estelle of Imladris, and back here for whatever comes next for Nova and Mr. Zanin-ish. Thank you all so much for being here for this arc, and I'm just going to pass it on over to Sam.
Hello, it is me, Sam. Wow. Outros, right? Okay, yeah, I swear I've done this before. The music was horrifically on point for there. Hi, I am Sam Star. I play Lumira. You can find me all across the interwebs at the Lust for Life X. Trust in each other. Passing it on over to our bestest, most fantabulous, just heartbreakingly devastating and unbelievably talented guest star for this arc.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rhododendron Takrar, and I know I'm supposed to say goodbye, but I have one last thing to show you. There's something you should see.
Are you sure you want to go back, Jean?
Yeah. You showed me how, and I think I'm ready.
You've always had this power. I'm glad you're choosing to use it now.
Then let's begin. As Nova falls, I still don't truly have my bearings. No one in Inferno does. Bodies are sore, minds are exhausted, souls are running on fumes. After all, disentangling threads from a tightly woven tapestry is not so easily done. But as Nova falls, we find ourselves back at the Inferno Bridge. Traffic continues to rush in two directions, undisturbed by the events at the bridge. Hundreds of feet below, the Red River never stops winding, pumping blood through the veins of the city, its surface disturbed by the 4 strike team agents that had plunged into it. I would say never to be seen again, but I hope that isn't true. Standing next to Diablo on one side and Tavash on the other, facing down these 4 strangers that came for our friends. Atop the bridge, I see you, Artemis. I'm not sure who you are, what you are, but I see you. Having stepped out of the pages of a fairy tale, a figure that no longer lives and breathes in Inferno, but lives and breathes in our mythos. The mother of werewolves. At least, I think that's what I see. There is a mirage shimmering and shifting like a web of gossamer clouding you, obstructing your true form. But that web shines bright, reflecting a light far off. A blessed moon larger than life standing in front of me. The moon, a vampire's first and most trusted companion. You, Artemis, the mother of werewolves, the predecessor of all werewolves, loom and tower over me, over us, over Inferno. Your very presence strains the world around you as if reality was struggling to keep you here, in this place, in this time. I can see the edges of reality beginning to fray around you. There is a thick gray fur sprouting from your head, a ragged mane of silver. You were somehow transformed, and not a half transformation that I can't quite wrap my head around. And it's only by the sound of your breathing that I'm brought back to the moment, because when you breathe, the rusty chain collar at your neck rattles. You are the moon, yes, and yet you are haloed by it too. A full moon encircling your head, a maw beckoning you back into it. The gravity of that full moon feels impossibly great. I don't know how you withstand its pull, how you stand here now instead of rushing back into its teeth. Yet you stand here, Artemis, in a form that is deeply divine and strange and unworldly and comforting in a distant way. In a way I can't touch, but know is there. Like the moon, my first and most trusted companion. But despite that comfort, you burn me. You burn me and all the other vampires that behold you because your eyes are twin suns. It feels sacrilegious for the sun to be so close to the moon to touch it. Those eyes should not be on that face, and yet I can't deny the pain that I feel when you regard me with that horrible, terrible gaze. Artemis, the mother of werewolves, what calls the moon down to Inferno on this tragic night?
Old oaths, twice bitten, carved in blood, far, far more ancient than even your Red River. I'm sorry for intruding like this. I won't make it a habit. I promise. She raises a hand, a claw, gestures back at the four strangers behind her. You may return home now, Phoenix. There is nothing left for you to do here. We'll update your mission back at the Syndicate. And then she turns her eyes upward, watching a carrion crow fly overhead, something silver glinting between its beak. She doesn't look at you. She doesn't turn that white, hot, horrible gaze back on you. And perhaps you think for a moment it's out of kindness. Out of kindness. And this time when she speaks, she is addressing you. You'll be alone now from the rest of us. Untethered as we are beyond the veil. Unknit from the tapestry, seen only by the empty chaos of this journey. Is that something that you can live with, Rhododendron Thrakar? Is that something your world can live with?
We chose this. And they chose theirs. And if that means that we can never see each other again, then so it must be. As much as it burns me, so it must be.
And then it does burn you, because her eyes come back to you. They alight upon you. And there's something strange inside of them. And the voice is so close now, her steps have brought her into your orbit like two suns spiraling. Then I have no further business here. Well done, Rhododendron Thrakar. In another life, I could have loved you like one of my own. And without another word, the moon, the mother of werewolves, she walks down the barely dusted, snowy sidewalk like she was just another person on the street, just another mortal dealing with a broken heart. She walks away from you. And the moon slides back to being nearly empty in the sky, a crescent looking down on you. Your first companion.
Ro watches the moon, the mother of werewolves, walk away and leave them alone for all of eternity. And while they watch the edges of reality start to knit itself back together, they feel like something is irreparably broken here, not just in their heart and their soul, but in that of Inferno's. And we're gonna end the session there.
Wow.
Hey, what?
Humna, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. My name is Humna, and I use any and all pronouns, and I have been Rhododendron Thakra, who uses they, Ray pronouns, your resident guest NPC co-GM, dethroning Connie briefly? I don't know. That
Briefly.
happened. Briefly. It will happen again. I say, I'm gonna be here in the call for the beginning of Arc 4, actually. Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
refusing
You
to
should
leave.
invite yourself in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm refusing to leave. I will be in this call specifically. Thank you all so much for watching and for being here. This arc, it has meant a lot to me. And I think I have way more words than I have time to say here right now. So all I can say is that this is a very deeply personal arc to me and very deeply personal story and character. And it's been such a delight to be here with everybody at this table and to get to tell this story. It really truly has been so wonderful, and I'm gonna miss it a lot. So yeah, if you want to see me in other works that I do, you can follow me all over social media at LilithTTRPG, and you should also follow Tender Vicious Studios or tendervicious.com and check out our actual play that is currently out. We have episode 3 out right now of Laurie's House. Laurie's House is an actual play about imperfect memory, community, and identity. It is very beautiful. Kai is our GM and C is our dramaturge, so if you want more transplaners vibe goodness, there is some of that in Laurie's House. And yeah, thank you all so much for having me in your house again. It's been so wonderful. And with that, I will pass introductions over to Zoe.
Hi everyone, I'm in the outro now. I also wasn't expecting this. If you like what I do here, you'll love what I do whenever I go, wherever my friends go. Just follow me on Blue Sky at Radical Zoe and you'll find stuff. I've been Kimani again. I think that's all I got. I'm passing it back to Connie.
And I'm gonna pass it over to C.
Hi everyone, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns, and you can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at C Plays RPG. I have had the absolute and utmost pleasure to be your Artemis this evening, mother of werewolves, lover of mortals, and patron saint who weeps and weeps and weeps. It has been my absolute pleasure to also be your backstage producer and dramaturg and wearer of many hats, social media poster, meme maker, art drawer on occasion.
Everyone in chat right now, if you don't give it up for C,
Yeah,
I
just
will
give it up
actually
seriously.
find you,
Give it up
put
for
high
All the
C.
posts,
right
people
now.
think it's me.
Yeah.
It's C. Like you all think I'm
Give
running the social
C
media. It's
their
C Thomas.
flowers right now.
Give
or
C their
I will
flowers.
find you.
Buy
Give
some
them your
merch.
flowers.
I also help make the merch with our husband, Val. Our husband, Val. Our husband, Val's husband.
Our husband.
Our husband.
Our husband.
Thank you, Sam. It means the world to me, and it means the world to me to get to help make such a beautiful, incredible, and moving show. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And now I am going to pass it to Connie for our big old outroductions, and I'm going to put on
Yes.
some jams in the back for us as we hang.
Yes.
Stay for
So stick around. We've got a lot of really cool outro announcements. So I know this is like the post-show like spiel, but it's really cool stuff. I love all of you so much. Artemis, I have such a thing for the moon since the second stranger. If you know, you know. But thank you all so much for tuning in to Arc 3 for real. For real now. This has been such a special story, and I am so grateful we got to weave this narrative of grief, rage, and hope together. This arc has been about so many things. What it means to trust in a city of political schemes and complex social dynamics. What it means to accept and define your place in a family, in a legacy, in a greater web of history, trauma, and love. And of course, what it means to love, romantically, platonically, familially, artistically, and beyond. I talk a lot about non-colonial and anti-Orientalist world building, and for me, liberational storytelling means reaching beyond the limited supremacist imaginaries that we are afforded in real life to build complex, nuanced, and expansive possibilities in fiction. This means that there are no easy heroes and no easy villains. All of us are flawed and imperfect and full of contradiction, nuance, and the potential for change. For now, I am proud to send off the story of Inferno with my incredible cast and crew around me. It's time for the cycles of tragic strife between houses Trakar and Lanius to come to an end. It is time for Willow and Aditi to breathe, to understand their wounds and scars, to process their unfathomable losses, and to hand the torch over to their heirs. Speaking of the future, let's talk about what Transplaner has in store for May, June, and beyond. So first of all, we're going to be taking a break.
Yep.
We're going to be taking a break. Producing a live show to this degree of narrative complexity and cohesion is truly a titanic. Yes, it's a titanic amount of work, right? And we're going to be taking the next few weeks off just to catch our breaths, some much needed rest. But never fear. We are coming back soon to celebrate AAPI Heritage Month, or Asian, American, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. A complicated and flawed, imperfect term, but it will do for now. You know what I mean. In style, we're going to be celebrating this month in style with a push for Twitch Partner. That's right, I'm announcing it right now. After 5 years on Twitch, we're going to try to push for and hit partner status, and we need your help to do so. If you want to learn how to help us with this, please stay tuned on our Blue Sky, on our Discord, and on our YouTube community to learn more about this initiative as it happens. Because we're going to be calling on folks to watch specific streams, maybe make social media posts just to show Twitch that our community gives a fuck about us, basically, and that we mean something to people. So if you want to help us, really free and easy way to do it. After AAPI Heritage Month, it is June. It's Pride Month here in the US. June is also the month of our channelversary. We're going to be celebrating 5 years of Transplaner. That's half a decade. I don't want to think about that too long, but that's half a decade. Stay tuned for more details of those celebrations. We're going to be planning some really cool charity streams to give back to our community. And in the meantime, we're also going to be planning Arc 4. That's right, Arc 4. We're also going to be releasing a brand new merch drop this summer, really soon. So if you're a fan of Godkiller, Last Hope, and First Blood, that's right, First Blood, girlies and gays and theys in the chat, make some noise, and Last Hope, right? You are gonna be thrilled. This shit, it looks so good. It looks so fucking good. I'm so excited. So stay tuned on our socials.
Quite literally.
It's so good.
It's really good.
We're going to be posting more information about the merch drop as things are ready to gear up and get pushed out. And patrons will be getting a sneak peek of those designs, those heretical god-killing designs. So if you want to get stuff early, it's gorgeous. It's so worth it. Thank you all again so much for tuning into Arc 3 of the Chaos Protocol. It has been a genuine honor and pleasure to facilitate this season alongside Kai, Sam, Val, Havna, C, Zoe as our surprise guest as well as our awesome stream mods Jordan and Keith, our podcast editor Marissa Ewing, and another surprise guest during this arc, Draconics. I'd also like to thank our character artist Angel, aka S.A. Batons, and our podcast album artist Vivienne, aka May Buyen. Finally, I'd like to thank Explain Trade, Hero Forge, and Frivolous Bear Studios as our 3 major sponsors for this arc. What you've all witnessed here is an immense labor of time, energy, money, resources, and love. We could not make this art without the contributions of each and every single person on, behind, and beyond this screen, including you all as our amazing audience. So you can continue to support our show in the off season by joining and participating in our Discord, pledging to our Patreon, making fan works if you are so inclined. Yes, I do check our AO3 tag quite often.
Literally all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Posting about Transplanar on Blue Sky or Instagram or Tumblr, which the tags of Tumblr I check constantly as well. Rating our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, buying merch from our merch store, and most importantly, a completely free way to do this, telling someone about us. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your barista, tell your dog, your cat, your parakeet. Thank you all so much, Transplanards. See you on the other side for AAPI Heritage Month. And in the meantime, Spijo Pijo. Bye!
And stick around for the raid! Bye!
Stick around for the raid! Stick around for the raid!